We OG, we OG. Oh no, G. You're not bullish enough. Yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Yeah. Experts on reload. Yeah. You're not bullish enough. Yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock. Ayy. Rooms is coming, everybody on a knot, ayy. It's a nuisance, Ordinal Revolution, ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got French right now. Yo, BRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, like it in the steel. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nookie on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me. Bitcoin's alive, what you gon' do? Mempool fees are high. Ordinal. Where does it start? Nobody knows. It's a revolution, ayy. Bitcoin is the one, no substitution, ayy. With Shizzy and Yagobi, it's Ordinal Revolution.
Welcome back to Ordinal Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin Ordinal ecosystems. What is up, guys? We have an amazing day for you guys today. It's amazing, one, because we are live. It's going to be great. And two is because markets are green. We have a lot of very positive news in the markets. We have a lot of positive price action, which is absolutely amazing, especially coming from the last week, 2 weeks where everything was kind of down only, and it kind of gets to you after a while. Like we say, we're gonna buy the dip. There's always so long you can continue to buy the dip before you start to be like, damn it, I hope I'm not like buying a falling knife here, and you keep buying and buying and buying. But having a day like today where obviously it's July 1st, obviously it's Q3, and obviously things feel a little bit different already, especially after the day we had yesterday with the price action. And we're going to have Yagobi kind of break down all the price action for you guys. So without further ado, let's get this thing started. I'm bringing my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, man? Ready to start this week?
Yeah, man. So real quick, how was your weekend? How you feeling the first day of July?
Feeling pretty good. Continually just, touching grass on the weekend with obviously peeking over at my phone, watching Bitcoin's price action. Saturday was very, very boring price action with Bitcoin, but Sunday definitely ratcheted the positive price action sentiment up a bit from what we were, used to Friday, Saturday, and towards the end of last week. So I think we ended June with a strong, punch up. Bit. It was only, I think, $2,000 that we increased in price around there. But it's a good way to end it and good way to start the new month.
Yeah, man. I feel the same way. I find myself checking Bitcoin's price not as much as used to, but I check dog's price a lot, right? And that probably just means I'm over allocated to dog. But it's one of those things where when I'm either with my family, I'm always kind of I have trading view with my phone, and I take a quick look, and it kind of gives you the news without trying to find the news, right? Especially because Bitcoin goes up 4% yesterday, dog's up 20%. So it's big price swings. It's definitely a leverage play on Bitcoin for sure. But so how are you feeling with with Bitcoin right now?
I feel pretty good. There are a couple time frame charts that make me a little bit cautious, but I feel like all in all, it's we have a pretty good setup for today. I don't expect any huge like volatility up or down, probably until after the holiday, but it's definitely carried over like the positive price sentiment. Even with this little pullback, it was pretty minimal in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's kind of get into some stuff here. At the beginning of the new quarter, Q3 typically brings a fresh outlook and revitalized momentum for the Bitcoin investors. Do you feel like that's true? Like being Q3 now, do you feel like people are kind of waking up a little differently?
Yes, and also experiencing the past 2 weeks of kind of
Yeah.
down only trend, right? 3 weeks really. Started June 7th, continued all the way to the end of the month. That's why I feel like we could have a really good kickstart, even though it's just the first, right? Typically, when in the beginning of the months, whenever trend reverses, it takes a couple of days, maybe a week. But having 3 weeks of down only, I feel like we could just really, just jump out the gates running up here.
Well, David Bailey agrees with you because he says, I have a feeling July will be the biggest month in Bitcoin's history. Wow.
And that's the founder of Bitcoin Magazine, right?
Yeah. Yep. Well, he's not the founder. Vitalik's the founder, but he's definitely, I think he's the CEO.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that. So the founder ended up leaving, huh?
Yeah, the founder, he, one of the 3 founders. I don't know if David Bailey was one of the original, but Bitcoin Magazine was created by Vitalik Buterin.
Interesting. Yeah. David Bailey's kind of everywhere right now, right? In terms of Bitcoin politics, trying to just really push the narrative. Obviously, been hosting and creating these amazing events for the main events for Bitcoin. So, if he's positive about it, then I am too.
Yeah. So we have to look for next week. I think next Thursday could be the beginning of a huge run. July 11th will be CPI data. CPI data comes in. If it comes in lower than expected or higher than expected, the market could swing one of 2 ways, right? So I'm very, obviously if CPI, which is, core price index, which is the inflation number, if CPI comes in hot, they will not drop rates at the end of the month, or maybe middle of July or August. I can't remember when the next one is, but this is big. July is a big month for CPI data. I think this one, I think it comes in low, which I think it's going to allow the Fed and Jerome Powell to come out and kind of drop rates. I think they drop rates 0.25 in the next one. I think they have to. I just think that the job numbers is coming down, CPI is coming down. I think it's time to drop rates a little bit. So, any opinion?
Yeah, 3.3 was the previous CPI number, right? So, I mean, when you get this low, and the goal is obviously 2%, right? Which a lot of people think that it's probably impossible to hit that. If we break into the 2s, that would be amazing. But I feel like when you get this low, it's really hard, right? So, I think they're probably going to come a point where they just have to pull the trigger regardless, as long as it isn't like a dramatic increase. All right. So we'll see how many more months it takes them, though. 3.3 is solid, in my opinion, right? Getting it down that low is pretty solid. So how much lower can you go, really, right? 2.9, I think, is a huge victory, and then maybe they cut right away if they hit that.
2 is their target. 2 has always been their target, and I think 2.99 or lower would be absolutely amazing, because then it just shows them that they hit their target. And Democrats are losing bad right now. I mean, they're not just losing bad in the U.S., but all over the world, in France as well. And I think that's going to trend, and I think they're going to have to really push stuff. And I think rate cuts is one of the few things that makes a lot of people feel rich, because you can borrow at cheap rates, which keeps money coming into the economy and makes everyone feel, like risk on. And risk on means that we can get a little more risky, which means, Bitcoin is the number 1 risk asset. And not to us, it's the safest thing in our portfolio, but to TradFi, to the billionaires and trillionaires of the world. So,
yep.
All right, moving on here. Speaking of billionaires, Japanese public company Metaplanet, the Japanese Michael Saylor, they like to call him, adds another $200 million worth of Bitcoin to their portfolio. This guy just keeps adding, man.
Yeah. I mean, they already rolled their plan out. and told the entire world, hey, look, we're just going to use the blueprint that MicroStrategy uses. And so that's what they're doing, right? So every month, like, I feel like we're reporting on them just purchasing more, more Bitcoin, which I think it's going to really benefit them. And I mean, this could be a crazy like corporate strategy, right? In terms of trying to help your company stay afloat or your corporation stay afloat. I wouldn't be surprised if like GameStop's CEO goes into something like this as well, right? Because they don't necessarily have like the best business model. It's outdated. They're not dominating in any streaming type things. They talked about it, but this could hold them over until they figure out what they're going to try to dominate in.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I brought up Japanese public traded company is because Sony, another Japanese public traded company, they're worth $103 billion to launch a Bitcoin crypto exchange. So they're like, hey, Metaplan, if you guys want to buy Bitcoin, buy it from us, right? So I think that was pretty awesome. How they see, potentially a enough. They're probably in touch with these guys. Have to be. I think the Bitcoin Japanese community is probably small. And they're probably all talking. So I think Sony just sees an opportunity to expand outside the entertainment business, and Bitcoin and crypto seem to be up for grabs right now. I mean, there's not a dedicated exchange. I mean, you have Binance, you do have a Coinbase, but those two are just so big, and it needs more competitors. And I think Sony and potentially many companies could transition into at least a Bitcoin exchange. I mean, if you can make fees, you might as well try, right?
Yeah. So I have the headline here. It says Sony gets ready to launch crypto exchange in Japan with acquired Amber platform. That's really, really big. I mean, it's a huge, historically branded, probably the biggest brand that's ever came out of Japan, right? And they're getting into our industry. So I mean, how can you not get bullish on that? That's
seriously
insane.
More and more every single day. This is a big one too. 90-year-old Saudi Arabian. I won't be able to say this name right. Salafic Sleric writes a fatwa deeming Bitcoin acceptable under Islam. I'm not really sure what that means. I'm guessing, but it's Bitcoin, and he's saying it's accepted under Islam. This is huge because this potentially opens up the entire Middle East to Bitcoin now, which probably desperately needs it, because you saw what happened with Afghanistan. The first thing they did was when the Taliban or whatever they call themselves came back, the first thing they did was go after the banks, and the people they had a bank run a few days before. So this is something that the entire Middle East could probably it could help them with just their daily lives.
Yeah. I mean, this is pretty huge in my opinion, because it's basically giving Bitcoin like the green check within that whole group of people. It seems like, right? So we'll see how it plays out, right? Because we know how much capital and liquidity comes from Saudi Arabia specifically, right? But a lot of regions in that area. So this could be a big pump to the ecosystem as well. This is kind of expected, right? So guys, expect more and more of this kind of news, right? Especially heading into the bull market. This isn't our first bull market cycle, so we weren't as experienced back then, but like I remember hearing these headlines. There's similar like bullish headlines, China this, the United States that, or Russia this, right? So it's really to get everything ready. The biggest thing I think we'll see is post bull run and into the start of the bear market, and see how many of these countries and companies fade off, because once it becomes mainstream, then you'll see less and less fading off, right? It'll just be kind of like the norm. Yes, the market's down, but we continue as business as normal.
Well, this is huge too, in two ways, because oil is their biggest export, and they've recently said, that they're coming off the dollar standard. They're not. Saudi Arabia will no longer be taking the dollar for oil, and that's huge. And if Bitcoin isn't acceptable under Islam, potentially Bitcoin could be the medium of exchange throughout. From dollar to yen to the ruble to the peso. It could just be that medium exchange from one to the other. Obviously, Bitcoin would need to be a little bit more stable, and I think that comes with high prices. I think when Bitcoin gets to a certain number, it's going to be too hard to move in one way or the other, and that's when I think it can become that medium of exchange for sure, especially from these big countries.
Yeah. So I will say one thing: the news about Saudi Arabia and not, using the dollar, that's actually been fabricated. Yeah, it's been fabricated. There was actually no contract between the two countries, and in terms of like you selling it and buying it like in USD, they probably that's the most dominated currency, but they're not going to stop selling oil in USD. Also, they sell it in other currencies too.
Well, no. Previously, they were only selling it in dollar, and now they're accepting other currencies. Last year, they only sold oil in the dollar.
So that's. I actually heard it from someone reporting it. I think it was it Financial Boffins, I believe, from TikTok, and he said that they use different currencies as well.
Do they?
But the petrodollar pack, that's a totally different thing. Okay. And it's not going away. So that was something. That's another thing that's kind of just thrown into like the news cycle, right? To pump the whatever. Like that's probably a BRICS thing that just like put that out there, to try to hurt confidence in the dollar.
And this last bit of Bitcoin news before we head into the price action here, Hawaii's regulatory sandbox concludes today. Crypto firms are no longer required to obtain state-issued money transmitter license. And this is something from Operation Choke Point that was put in. That Hawaii is like the first state to come out and say, no, you don't need this. You're not a money transfer. You don't need this license. So this is pretty big. The first in many states, hopefully, to come out and kind of push back on this.
Yeah, I think that licensing is for companies like Western Union and MoneyGram, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that was always ridiculous. So this is good. Yeah. And this is one of the benefits of the United States. Really, there's a lot of things you can complain about it right now, but one of the benefits is kind of like self-governing of states, right? You obviously have your federal laws, regulations, but I think what makes us work even through like hard times and good times or whatever is the fact that the federal government does defer to like the state's government, right? Yeah. So I think we'll probably hear more and more about this because they don't feel the pressure from the federal side as much anymore, and this could really change a lot of like just positive sentiment in the U.S. For 100%. Crypto, right? I think a lot of like the U.S. society hasn't really tried to adopt it because our government hasn't. Government's been really like anti-crypto, even anti-Bitcoin in a lot of ways. But now that's changing, and we'll see if the society, flows into this as well, because it should.
Amen. All right, it's that time of the show here. We gotta get you guys all caught up on the Bitcoin price action. If you wouldn't mind showing us the Bitcoins, the Bitcoin.
Let's get into it, guys. But before we do, make sure on the YouTube side, if you're watching, smash that like for us, guys. That helps us a lot. And subscribe if you're not subscribed. And then on the Twitter side, please share the spaces. Today we will have an extended spaces. It's Merlin Mondays. We're doing a new segment. We're trying it out today. We just want to educate you guys as much as possible with these new projects that are building and kind of focusing more on the Bitcoin ecosystem builders that are also putting their footprint over there. But yeah, let's jump into some price action here and see what Bitcoin is doing for the day and possibly the week. Let's see. Let me make sure I'm on the correct one here. All right. Perfect. Okay, so we will start with the 1 hour chart. This is the shorter term time frame that I use, and you can see we had a pretty good pull up until about 8 o'clock Central last night. We got all the way to 63,600. So 64,300 is that official confirmation of reverse trend. In my opinion, you get past 64,200 really, but you want a little bit of buffer room. So if we can get back above that, that would be great. But we didn't. We kind of switched momentum, which makes sense. I mean, we had buy-ups all day on Sunday, so for us to go down is not a surprise here. So just a pullback. It wasn't too bad, but we got up to 63,700 and got all the way down to 62,600. So about $1,000 swing back down. I'm okay with that. That actually kind of puts us in a really good spot here. Even though we were in overbought for a while, and I don't suspect for us to just bounce out of being in oversold. So I do probably see a little bit more chop here, but eventually this is perfectly set up, in my opinion, for a bull flag right here, right? It's perfectly set up. If you look at a bull flag, example, this is a perfect example of that, right? So we could push back up here in the shorter time frame in the next 8 hours or so, try to go for that 64,000 break above that. That is the optimistic outlook for the shorter term here. So that is the 1 hour chart. And then we look at the 4 hour chart. So this one is kind of, a little bit scary, because you can see we have been in overbought for a very long time. Since the 25th, really, and the MACD is showing that, or at least the buy pressure is there. And you can see on the stochastic RSI as well, we barely dipped down here. We never made it to oversold. So although this looks good, we could see, the first half of this week heading into the holiday with chop, possibly a little bit down, maybe get to 61.5. That's kind of what the 4 hour chart is telling me. We could have a continuous, bullish sentiment. This could pop back up here, and we just start off the month really, really strong. We'll kind of have to see how today goes to see that. But like us being in overbought for so long, to me, and it's barely touching down and oversold, lets me know that we've been overbought for a while here on the 4 hour chart. So that's what makes me worried a little bit for the 4 hours. So that's kind of like, I guess, if you were to have a more of a pessimistic outlook, it would be the 4 hour chart just for the next couple of days. All right, now this is my favorite chart, the 12 hour chart right now, at least for the sentiment that we just got into. You can see the 12 hour chart gives us more of a 10 to 15 day, projection here. We've been oversold in this chart for a very long time, since the 8th, really. Once that sell down started, we've been in oversold here. We popped out on the 24th, which is the last week of June, and we made it back to overbought. So kind of showing strength here too with the buy pressure and the MACD, good separation between the blue and red lines here. I do expect this to continue, but we might see some chop, like I said, on the 4 hour chart, but we won't really see too much of that as long as it's not like a dramatic sell down or bleed out. And I don't feel like we're going to have that. I don't think that $50,000 scenario, to me, I feel like is kind of out of the question now. We touched 58,000, 59,000 twice, actually, at the beginning of last week, and at the end of last week. We barely touched it and popped back up. So I think that was it. That was the chance that it had to really break below that. So this is what I see for the next 2 weeks, up to 2 weeks, hanging out up here, maybe some chop back and forth, 61.5 to 63,000, and then eventually towards the beginning of next week, possibly end of this week, we can really start to see that pull up and maybe get past that 64.5 and really start to take off here a bit. But that's what I'm seeing. So kind of short, very short term, kind of positive sentiment for the day. Maybe the next 2-3 days, a little bit of a pullback, and then the next 2 weeks we get back to where we were, close to where we were at, like that, high 60,000s, possibly low 70,000s.
Awesome. So you had 2 weeks in a row. You were pretty on point with your Friday prediction. Are you ready for your Friday prediction, or you want to wait?
No, I need a couple more days. A couple more days, and then I'll say this. I'll put in a confident one before the holiday.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, guys. It's time for the roll fear and greed. We're gonna jump to the fear and greed real quick. So it's showing right here that we are at a 53. Yesterday we were at a 47. Last week we were at a 51, and last month we were at a 72. So being here in 53, what is this telling you after seeing the price action?
Yeah, I mean, it's telling me that people feel good about the bounce back on Sunday, ending the month.
Yeah.
Right. I think that was important for the sentiment. Let's say that we bust up to like 66,000 today out of nowhere.
Yeah.
66,000, 68,000. That meter would probably be to like 60 or something tomorrow. Right. So I don't necessarily want that, because I feel like that's too quick, too soon. Probably chopping would make us hang out where we are right now with the fear and greed, but maybe pull back a little bit, especially if we do dip the next 2 days. And I think that's okay, because it's like dipping next 2 days, getting like people's mental state right before really heading into a little bit more aggressive period. We could kind of chop really until the conference later this month, right? And then everybody's at the conference talking about these new projects and this new innovation on Bitcoin and all that stuff. Bam, we explode at the end of this month heading into August.
That very well could happen, 100%, especially, but the Bitcoin conference has been a down only event
typically
3 years. I mean, but we'll see. It was definitely a sell the news event, but it does run up normally. So you are right on that aspect. It does usually run up to the conference and then dips during the conference. So
yeah, I don't know if the conference has ever been this late in the year, has it?
2020, it was really late, I think. I think they did really well. That's why they're kind of keeping it there. But it's usually been between April and May. But this year with the halving as well, I think that's why another reason why I got pushed back.
Yeah. Well, and they also had the Asia conference, right?
Oh yeah.
So
that was
Actually, 2020 was rescheduled because of COVID to 2021, and it was in June.
Gotcha.
It was in June. Yep.
So yeah, it's right around the same time. All right, guys, time for the roll call. Let's see who's here. First, I'll go into the graveyard. Last night I came on and there was about 7 comments in here, but they got deleted from YouTube. So the graveyard consists of Tim, AODR, Crypto Noob, Danny Boy. Then we got Reziak, Mr. Hanky, the Christmas Poo, Chief Axel, Chris Me Poo, and then Patty Poo, of course, the BTC machine himself. And then so we'll get into today's thing, and first is first here. So we have Yasher in that first spot. Congratulations, Yasher, you win today. You are number 1. Congratulations, my friend. And yeah, if you guys don't know who Yasher is, man, or Yazir, or I gotta get the right pronunciation, but he's been such a huge help to us. We have a thing called Ordinal Research and Developments, and he's like the number 1 guy there, and he helps us more than you guys know. So shout out to him for sure. Lackey Lukey in that number 2 spot, followed by Danny Boy. That's our guy right there. Ordinals Tweets is in the house. No is in the building. Jacob is here. Jacob Donahue. Joko is here. Let's see. Mighty Sonu is in the building. Appreciate you, Mighty. Max is here. He says, you are not bullish enough. He's probably talking to you, Yagobi, because that's impossible to say that to me. I Walk Alone is here. He says, GM, Ordinal Revolution fam. Let's get this channel to 30K subs. Hit that like button and share to all the DGM friends. Yes, please do everything that I Walk Alone just said. Appreciate you, I Walk Alone. Chief Axel is here. Reziak is here. Admir is here. Tim AOD Art, appreciate you. LSR is here. Green Man is here. Sixes is here. Akala is in the building. Patty Poo, Carlos CLS, Ant-Man is here. Renee Schneider, welcome back. Johnny Utah is here. Sogo is here today. Chain Watchers in the building. ERV is here. Let's see. Mats is here. Sem Coach is in the building. And then we have Cindy Sanford, 007, and then Chota Satoshi is in the building. Appreciate every single one of you guys who made roll call. Every single day you guys bring the heat. We appreciate you guys. So let's kind of show you guys something real quick. And it's going to be the time that we announce the giveaway. So put your Twitter handle. It has to be your Twitter handle so we can reach back to you. Otherwise, we can get fake people saying they're you, and we send them the high pass on accident. So please, at this point, just please put your Twitter handles in the chat, and I'm going to take your Twitter handles and put them on the wheel. We're going to get giving away 5 Ordinal Hive passes from the wheel, and then we'll give 1 to the best question of the day. So we're going to have a Q&A session at around 12:30, and another one towards the very end of Merlin Monday. And the best question, I'll give it away at the end of the show. I'll ask you for your Twitter handle if I don't already have it, and then we will give away 1 with the best question, guys. So think of stuff to say. That question can be towards Jeff later. It can be towards any of the Merlin projects we have on. The best question we will give it to you guys, and we'll I'll ask Yagobi what his opinion is. We'll get mine, and we will get Jeff's as well. See the best question, and we'll give away a pass to you guys. So 5 on the wheel, 1 at the end, and we're going to do another giveaway next Monday as well. So tune in for Merlin Mondays. It's going to be fun. We got probably a 3-hour show today, so it should be a good time. So just pop your Twitter handles in the chat. All right. It's going to continue the show here. Dog was featured in a new Coin Telegraph article about runes. It wasn't the best rune article. Did runes already peak? Did you see this article by Coin Telegraph by any chance? I think you're on mute. Sorry.
My bad. Yeah, so I did see the article. I didn't dive deep into it, but I definitely saw it. It just reminded me right away of like the Ordinals are dead period. When people were talking about it. So I love when people say this.
Real big. It's a screenshot of the coin. What is it? CoinGecko. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then it just comes into evolution infrastructure. So it was definitely a clickbait title because they kind of go into the article, and I read it yesterday about like just kind of embraces runes a little bit, but the headline was definitely clickbait. But
yeah, I mean, but clickbait to who though, right? Just the Ordinals community, because you're not going to get a ton of clicks from that title from like the entire crypto market. So I feel like it might have been a little bit of clickbait, but not completely. Sometimes people that aren't in our space, like they just don't pay attention enough every day. So I understand why some people think that. Just like the people that were on the outside saying that Ordinals are dead. You guys hyped this up and now it's dead, and then next thing you know, like a month later, it's all the prices are skyrocketed, right? So I feel like this is kind of that situation. You really have to be here like each and every day to know that this is not like a dead ecosystem, not even close. This is a thriving ecosystem, and that's the difference, right? Like you go to Solana, you put your $100 on a number like roulette and hope that the wheel hits, right? But that's it. Like what building and community building is happening over there? You know what I mean? Do they have like a show that's dedicated to Solana, like, ecosystem? And so to me, that's the major difference. And those people that are fading, they're going to be like kicking themselves in the butt and be like, man, I should have saw the signs. Like, they're still like building and talking about it, even though it's slow.
And to your point, I think you said it before. I mean, Bitcoin and Ordinals ecosystem is the only innovation that has happened this year. I mean, all there's been is meme coins and crap, right? There hasn't been any real innovation besides what Casey has done for Ordinals and runes and Domo for BRC20s and even A for atomicals and someone Benny for Tap. Jeff from Merlin, right? And one of the first L2s that's actually killing it. So the only real innovation has been in our ecosystem.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. There's some smaller things that probably, smaller chains and stuff, but because it's Bitcoin, like people care, right? The other ones that probably have really good technology upgrades and stuff, people aren't paying attention right now because it's not full on crazy bull market, right? And like there's hundreds of chains that are competing against each other with, hey, this is my cool new technology. Hey, this is my new upgrade. Can you believe that? We don't care. Like Bitcoin is trying to build DeFi. Oh, really? So it really kind of, even at this point, it kind of perks people's eyebrows up a little bit and says, oh, okay, what's going on?
I agree. We did some breaking news from the weekend. A combo meal was just purchased with 3,333 dog at 0.33 in the first runes transaction ever at a national restaurant chain. Hot Chicken QSR in Tempe, Arizona. I don't. This.
It's a different brand. Is it a different brand of Nashville hot chicken? This is hilarious.
I think it's the same. I think it's Nashville hot chicken. Yeah.
Okay. I was about to say,
it's
bro,
just weird.
Like
Favorite dog at a chicken place. It's kind of like, is this really chicken? But I hope so.
Or the other one's competitors, are like saying, hey, we gotta accept runes too.
No, I'm pretty sure this is Nashville. I think that's just their Twitter handle, to Hot Chicken QSR, which stands for Quick Service Restaurant. But yeah, I think this is big. This is our pizza moment, right? Because there might have been Bitcoin transactions on the in the in the ecosystem for drugs and things like that in the early days of Bitcoin, but they count the first the first real transaction, the Bitcoin pizza transaction. So, and this is kind of like our pizza transaction. So one day someone's gonna be like, damn, dude, this guy paid $3,000. You could have got 3,000 things of chicken for that. So, and hopefully that would be 100x from right now, but that we will see.
Yeah, I love that actually.
Yeah.
Typically I don't like to hear things like this because I've heard it in like different ecosystems last cycle.
Yeah.
Oh, someone used this to pay for this and blah blah blah. But this is Bitcoin, and there's a history there with the pizza,
exactly,
right? And so that's different. That makes a big difference in my opinion. But yeah, this is interesting. That we're seeing news headlines with this. Dog's going to be big. We all know that. How big it gets, we shall see.
Only time will tell.
Yeah.
All right, jumping over here to the new guy in town here. RSM, Rune State Machine, is a Runes improvement protocol, aims to introduce DeFi to Runes by running pre-defined contracts. It's also is a programmable Rune solution, aims to introduce DeFi to Runes. Okay, seems kind of like the same headline here, but their big news was when 100 Swap, which is another swap on Bitcoin that they haven't. I checked their website. It doesn't seem like they're up and running yet, but they're definitely integrating RSM on the AMM DEX. RSM Rune State Machine. It was the top rune on Magic Eden over the weekend. This thing was at a $500,000 market cap last week, and today it's at a $5 million market cap. What do you think? We did add this to our portfolio yesterday for our $5,000 to $100,000 challenge. If you guys are a member, go watch that video. We're now on episode 3. That it was a fun. It's just a fun concept that we're doing. We started with 2,000, and then we have added another 1,000 over the last 2 weeks. 500 one episode, 500 another. And yesterday's big purchase was RSM. What's your opinion on RSM? And is this like the track of Runes?
Man,
the Yoshi.
That's the big question, right? Is it the Yoshi or is it the track? I remember BRC 100. They were really trying to push that meta protocol narrative. It just never really took. And sometimes it takes just being able to have that way to get your foot through the door, to get as many people to become believers, and that just never happened, right? But it seems like this is like starting with a token on Runes. And so that's probably one of the easiest ways to get believers is to make number go up, right?
Yeah.
I think we had a great conversation with Bob Bodley last week. Guys, go check out that episode. It was amazing. Learned so much from that guy every time we have him on. But he talked about like programmable runes, programmable BRC20, right? With BRC20 2.0. I think the runes is called like, what was it called? Like Rono runes or something like that.
Yeah.
Where it was like a sub meta protocol of runes, right? And so the big focus right now is to proto runes, is to add programmability to meta protocols, right? And to be able to like look to the smart contracts that are inscribed and point to them and utilize those commands. And so, I'm not sure if that's exactly what RSM is trying to do, but if it's legit, it makes sense that because there's a lot of people trying to solve that, right? Try to build that first to market. But just as easy, it could be the Ochi. And that's not saying anything bad against the team behind RSM. You've had multiple people in our space that has said, hey, RSM sounds like an amazing idea. There's so many ideas that sound so amazing this past year. But one thing I'll say is the hype is there. So I don't blame anybody for taking advantage of that. If you went from 500K to 5.6 million market cap, that's more than a little bit over a 10X. Hey, I applaud you for doing that. Just be smart about it, probably, and leave that moon bag in there.
100%. Casey did have something to say this weekend as well about this. He said not about this specifically, but you know how Casey goes. He kind of sees the news and kind of puts something up there. It says runes and inscriptions are programmable as Bitcoin. As improvements to Bitcoin, expressiveness, also the expressiveness of runes and inscriptions. So basically, what he means is as we update Bitcoin, runes is just going to get everything that happens to Bitcoin to that. So if we get Opcat, you know, that is also Opcat for runes. If we get, he did have a couple other things as well here. If I can find this tweet real quick. Sorry, I'm not prepared for these. All right, here it is.
But I mean that right there to me sounds like he's for making these protocols programmable, or like increasing programmability with them.
There's a couple other ones too. It's opcheck template verify, sing hash group, and standardizing the taproot signature annex with Craval. So there's a bunch of different opcodes that if they come in, and I guess they're kind of the same as Opcat right now. They're kind of in you know, discussion mode. If any of these get put in, you know, they really upgrade runes as well as Bitcoin. So that's one thing Casey is saying here by saying the improvements to Bitcoin also improve runes. It's pretty big.
Runes and inscriptions. So I think, in his mindset, he's probably like, look, guys, like we don't have to have this crazy like AMM and like all these like computational functionalities on chain, because it's going to clog up a lot of transactions and stuff like on Bitcoin's native layer, even if you get like Opcat or whatever. Right. But let's focus on like programmability on each meta protocol, runes, BRC20s. I'm sure like he, in his mindset, he's like, if you guys are trying to increase programmability at the meta protocol level, do it. That's what I want. I don't want like the mempool to be extremely like, you know, clogged and so expensive for people to DCA and stuff like that. So this is actually good. And to me, I think this is going to usher in a whole new innovation for the crypto space. Inscription innovation and runes innovation on like making these meta protocols like more programmable. I think that's going to be the focus for innovation here.
Yeah, I love it. I love how Casey's kind of on board for go nuts. Let's do this. Let's make Bitcoin in the words of Jeff from Merlin, let's make Bitcoin fun again. So jumping here to something that's really fun. Fluid Tokens, a partner of ours, they have a new product everyone will want to use is coming to Bitcoin. Blank will make TVL on Bitcoin DeFi go brr. So we can't really dig into this too much because we're kind of hearing stuff from the team, but we just want to say what they're building is going to change everything for Bitcoin. And I just want to kind of hit on this because they put this out, not us. And this is something me and Yago have been talking behind the scenes about. And then we are insanely bullish, guys. You need to start paying attention to Fluid. You know, they're building multiple products and multiple use cases. They have borrowing and lending. They have you know, an AMM, and potentially they have some DeFi coming. So can you say anything on this without giving anything away? Because I'm having trouble.
Well, I'll say that like you might think, oh, these guys, you know, this is one of their partners, and that's why they're kind of like overhyping this. No, like this is legitimately like made us feel like Christmas. I feel like you know, leading up to Christmas time. And I'll end it with this on this topic here. There's a very large player in the space for infrastructures of our space that actually is looking to them. So they're communicating and stuff about this. I'll just leave it at that. So it's not us only. It's like a really big infrastructure player as well.
Yeah, and if you're a builder in a space, you need to go to these conferences because that's how Fluid kind of like got in touch with some of these people that they're working with here. And conferences are a big deal. If you're building something, you need to be at these conferences 100%. And I think Nashville will be that way. It's going to be great to hear the stories that come out of Nashville, like a few weeks after Nashville, being like, oh, I met this person in Nashville and now we're all building this together and stuff like that. So I can't wait for the storylines to come out of that. And this is all from, you know, a conference that happened in the past month or so. So this is a big deal, guys. Look out for Fluid Tokens. They're impressing us every step of the way. And the best part of our jobs is that we get like information about what they're potentially building, and then just kind of watching the process happen. That's like the best part for me.
Yep.
All right, jump on the next thing here. Tap protocol at ETHCC, and I'm guessing it's ETH conference, right? Is that what that is?
Yeah. So ETHCC stands for Ethereum Community Conference.
Okay.
So yeah, let me share my screen here. All right. So it says Tap protocol at ETHCC, and it says we're excited to announce that we'll be speaking at Definity ICP Chain Fusion Day during the ETHCC conference. We'll be discussing liquidity within a cross-chain environment at the event in Brussels on Wednesday, July 10th. And then it shows where you can register for the event. So this is something I brought to your attention because I was just stating that, this is another example of a meta protocol possibly starting to carve its own path, right? They're utilizing ICP technology to be able to expand and scale the Tap protocol, right? I think this is really big. We need to really, follow how this partnership and the technological like integrations of ICP and how it can help scale Tap protocol, because that could be a huge narrative going into the bull market, right? And then Tap, next thing you know, Tap is being really has a big light shined on it, right? Yeah. So this is just another example. I think that they made the right partnership so far, and we'll see how it plays out in terms of what's actually being built.
100%. And I got this from one of the Tap places that I'm probably not allowed to say things from, but I'm going to say it anyway because that's what you guys
get our membership revoked.
So in something that we seen, we saw some of the Tap guys say Tap's current focus is on the marketplace, completing the final touches on the indexer before it goes public as an open source release. So this is something I didn't realize, but the Tap marketplace will actually be open source. I don't know if Unisat marketplace is open source.
So yeah, I don't know either. I know their wallet is, because people
their wallet
have forked the wallet multiple times, but I don't think I think the indexing is not open source, or it wasn't, right? So so that was something that they kept to themselves. But in terms of the the marketplace, them making the decision to make it open source, I think that's really cool. So they did say towards the end of June that it would be here, so it's July 1st. But at the same time, projects right now are making sure that they're crossing their T's and dotting their I's, right? And it makes sense because it isn't like an extremely bullish moment, this exact moment where we are today. But I do think that changes in the next 2 weeks, that we do pick up bullish sentiment, and then heading into the fall, we'll see it. We'll see like a lot of these platforms and stuff, people utilizing them. I hope we see this exchange, this marketplace in the next week at least, because like I've been excited to utilize it. Yeah,
100%. And the second part of this includes conducting a thorough security review and refactor. So that's the big thing, right? You can't put anything on half-ass and then it get hacked in the first week, and then all the work that you've put into is now, it's useless because people aren't going to trust it. For a while anyway. So this is and that thing is too about that, there's no reason to rush it. Like if you're Tap, what's your reason to rush right now? Like you're competing with yourself only right now. Like you're the only marketplace that is really building. We know the other Tap places are building, but they seem to be further behind than these guys are. So to them, this isn't really the market to be pushing anything out at either. Like I said it in a meeting that we had with somebody last week. I was like, I'm not really minting or anything right now, So this is something that probably, if this happened, when Bitcoin got back to 70K, I think that's perfect time. I wouldn't release anything until Bitcoin hit 70K, honestly.
Yeah, I hope they release it before, just because I want to get familiarized with it, and I want to play with it. But I'm okay if they wait until like the middle of this month. I think everybody right now is that is paying attention every day. They want all the projects to release everything, which I get it. But just a little bit more patience, guys, because there is timing behind a lot of this with the teams. As much as people don't want to hear it, it is what it is. It's like, if you wanted to start your business and you wanted to start it at the perfect market conditions and stuff, you would wait, right? So
yeah, 100%. This is something that's pretty big. So NatBats, guys, we gotta get get a better idea of what these guys are. It's a free DMT from Limitless and the Bitmap Emporium. Is the very first highly anticipated DMT launch. I mean, from an outside looking in, I know the M Crown and stuff like that was very highly anticipated within the community, but this looks like the first one from people that outside the community that are actually getting pretty hyped with this. We know Limitless is he's a boss, right? He's like a huge name from outside our ecosystem. He comes from the Neo Tokyo group with Alex Becker and everything that he has done for Bitcoin crypto gaming, and Limitless wants to build that here. He wants to build that here in Bitcoin, and Bitmap Emporium is a big part of that. And now this NatBats is another big part of it. He seems to be very into DMT, and he thinks it's the next big thing, and that's why he wants to do a collection there. So he already did one with the Ordinals, and now he's doing with DMT and Tap. So what is your opinion on everything Limitless has done so far and what he's gearing up to do?
I think he's done a great job. One of the things that you hit on with fluid tokens going to conferences, like Limitless has done that, right?
Yeah.
He's gone to conferences, had built these relationships, and now you can see like they're getting partnerships and stuff, or these type of promotional partnerships left and right. So this is going to be an interesting one. You benefit from just holding the Bitmap Emporium. The one thing I'll say though is it seems like he's able to really start kind of bridge like the Bitmap and DMT communities together. The title of the original project is Bitmap Emporium, but then now they're including like DMT stuff. So at the end of the day, I think as long as like Block Runner and that team continually educate on Bitmap as well, then I think that there can be like a cohesive like environment, right? But we'll see what happens in the future with that, because Bitmaps, there's a lot of Bitmap community and holders still, kind of waiting for things to be released. And I think that matters. That matters as much as, people say, well, you move on to another channel. You can't really do that with Bitmap because there's too many people, there's too many people that could be burned from that and stuff like that. That's why I love that there's different like areas that the Bitmap ecosystem lives, right? Bitcoin's native layer, and you have it on Merlin, really big now, starting to grow. We're going to talk about that later and on Merlin Mondays. But I think that needs to continue. It can continue on another side chain as well, or another area, another maybe meta protocol is only focused to that, or DMT just really includes it somehow into their ecosystem. But Limitless, my hat's off to you. I think you're doing a great job. Just keep pushing forward.
Yep, 100%. And I just want to show the site to do that. A lot of people are probably asking, where would you go to do that? Mscribe. This is the Block Runner guys. This is their here, and you can see all these projects that right now the only project that is really minting is the DMT M Crowns.
Is that not minted out yet? It hasn't been minted out.
It'll never mint out, they said. So it'll just be as you get whitelisted or something. As I don't know, they said it's going to go on for a long time. So
interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's what I heard. But you see the the DMT, the white deck, and then you have baby lucky pandas, DMT vessels, a bunch of other
vessels is the 3D one that a lot of people are talking about right now. Yeah. The pandas one is cool too, because it's like not your typical DMT art. It's not like straight lines only. There's curvature to the art and stuff too. So
DMT Billy, and I think okay, so if you have the M Crown, you get the privilege to use it, I think, or maybe that's just privilege off for mint validation.
Yeah, I think there's the whole idea behind the M Crowns is that a lot of projects are supposed to utilize that as like a whitelist for M Crown holders. But you can opt in and opt out. I think like NatBats, for example, doesn't utilize the M Crown, right?
Gotcha.
But I could be wrong. So if anybody in the chat thinks I'm wrong, please let me know and you can correct me there. But guys, we got 7 minutes before the Ordinal After Hour, so please put your questions in the chat so we can get those and we can get some winners for the
remember the best question of the day gets a Hive Pass, guys. So get your questions in there, and it could really just be anything. It could just be one of those questions that we remember. So put a question in there. We got 2 more topics to hit on before we get to the Ordinal After Hour. And then after the Ordinal After Hour, we'll get the Q&A. And then we're going to have Jeff on the show in a little bit. We're going to have Bitmap 420 in the building. We're going to have the guy, Sam from Verium. And then we're going to have Ordinal Hive here. So we got a huge monster show. It's the same stream. We're not going to go and open up a new stream or anything. We're just going to continue this one. It should be fun and exciting. So tune in. We got probably another hour and a half to go, guys. So put your questions in there. And also, I'm going to be putting names on the wheel. Put in your Twitter handle, your X handle in the chat so I can grab them in a little bit, and I'll put them to the wheel. And at the end of the show, we're just going to rip it. The 5. I'm going to do it live here. You'll see the wheel. You'll see your name on it, and you'll see it spinning. 5 of them will get a free Hive pass, and then the 6th one will be given to the best question. So get your questions in there, and if you win the best question, you can also win on the wheel. So you can potentially win two today. So get your name on the wheel. Get those questions in, guys.
Yep.
All right. This is a quote from Jeff from Merlin. He says, as builders, because that's what Merlin is. You can call them, a chain and stuff, but they're builders first. And Jeff's always been that way. He says, we prioritize identifying genuine use cases and meeting user needs, focusing on building liquidity for tokens like Runes and BRC20. So, yep. So, yeah. So what do you think about that real quick? And then we'll kind of jump into Magic Eden, do some market updates.
Yeah. So what I take from this is exactly what they're doing. You have Doggo to the Moon over there. You have Lobo the Wolf Pup. You have like 2 other Runes tokens. And what they're doing is they're building liquidity up for these to have more of a foundation to be able to trade them in and out a lot easier. Right. They also extended that to the Bitmap token, which we're going to have, Bitmap 420 on, which is a Merlin builder as well, to see how they can integrate that type of token possibly. But yeah, it's really just building up liquidity for these type of tokens, right? Because the biggest problem in Crutch right now for new users, really like the Solana degens and stuff like that, love it or hate it, because there's definitely a big downside to kind of that type of environment with toxicity, is the hurdles that it takes for people to utilize or buy and sell tokens, right? So they can really push a brand new token to a $1 billion market cap very quickly, but they can also like dump it very quickly. But the reason why they don't come over here is because they don't want to do the swap meet type of situation. Well, that's what Merlin Chain is trying to solve for these type of tokens over here. And I think they're doing a good job. And once that liquidity buildup is there, then it'll be easier for newer tokens to eventually launch directly from Merlin. So you'll be able to mint, but it will always be first on Bitcoin's native layer and then synthetically on Merlin.
Sounds good. I'm going to jump you guys over to Magic Eden. Yagobi's going to go take care of something for the show, and we'll see you in a few seconds. All right, guys, I'm going to take you guys through the Magic Eden, give you a quick update on everything with Magic Eden. Earlier today, Yagobi's like, dude, everything's up. And I was like, oh, wow. And everything is up, guys. Everything's up, and it's awesome. I got the No Monkeys sitting at 0.188. This is up 14% on the 7-day. Bitcoin Puppets sitting at 0.147, up 40% on the day. Huge on the week. It's huge. Runestone is up 10% on the week. Ordinal's Maxi Bid sitting at 0.22. This got swept over the weekend, guys. If you weren't paying attention, you need to start. This is up 16%. Quantum Cats. This one, man, sitting at 0.26. This one has not fell. You've seen huge drops in No Monkeys, got all the way down to about 0.12. Huge drop in Puppets, got all the way down to 0.10. Runestone's been steady as well. Runestone's been very steady. Ordinal Maxi Biz sitting at 0.22. This one really got down to, I think, 0.18. But the Quantum Cats, to my point here, have been unstoppable. It's probably because of the Magic Internet Money token. I think this comes out at perfect timing. I think it comes out soon, and probably July. I can't see them waiting much too much longer. But they said if you have your Quantum Cat listed, that you're going to be in trouble and might not get that Magic Internet Money token. I think this one is held up so well. Do you think that's the reason why everything else has dipped and Quantum Cats has stayed pretty steady?
What was your reasoning behind it?
It's because of Magic Internet money. The token and them's coming out and basically saying if you list your quantum cats or have it listed during the snapshot, you will not be eligible for that token.
So that is part of it, I'm sure. But it's
Yeah.
more of that overall strategy, right? They've done a
Yeah.
great job, the best job, in my opinion, of convincing holders to not list their quantum cats, right? And so, again, they also have a huge treasury, I'm sure. I don't know for a fact, but just the raise on the initial launch, or the mint. So that and also just really being able to convince their community, hey, look, it's not worth listing. So I think they've done the best job with that. Pizza Ninjas tries to follow that, but then everything else is just kind of a decentralized approach, right? Like Node Monks, Puppets, has community, but kind of no big leader right now. And then you have Frogs that is really decentralized.
100%. Jump over take a look at some runes here. Go to market cap. But wow, this one is running now up huge again, up another point.
Wow.
So it's almost at 9 sats. RSM guys, if you're not paying attention, you got to pay attention before it's too late here. I'm not saying go buy this. It's not financial advice whatsoever, but you got to remember this is at a $5.6 million market cap. If you look at the chart real quickly, it really reminds you a lot of Bank a little bit where Banked was. Because if you see this start up here and then this kind of moment here, and then it's giant upward movement and then the sideways movement here. If you take this, I'm sorry, over to Bank and look at the early days in the Bank price chart. Let me just grab it real quick. It looks really similar to that. So Bank has got really beaten up here.
Has it not bounced back? I felt like it was looking like it was trying to bounce back.
Yeah.
Not yet.
It has jumped back up to 11, but it's not showing me previously. But
did you got to change the time frame down below?
I did 10.
Go.
1 day. Okay,
yeah,
here we go.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's still not for some reason. It's this is cut off from the last couple of days. So.
Gotcha. We got 340 people in here on a Monday.
Yep.
Appreciate each and every one of you guys. We're going to do some giveaways soon. We're going to have a lot, like multiple Merlin builders that are from the Bitcoin ecosystem, as well as Jeff on with us shortly. So stay patient. It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, and if you haven't yet, put your Twitter handle in the chat, and I'm going to be taking that and adding it to the wheel. So Twitter handle only. It has to be a Twitter handle. If I contact that Twitter handle that you put in there, and I can't get to you, you do not win. So it has to be your Twitter handle. Don't give me no LinkedIn handles. Don't give me nothing else. Got to be X handle. So, all right. Yeah. So looking down here, you got Dog sitting almost at 10 sats. You got Bank at 11. But so Bank is back up here. Pups really falling here. This was in the 3rd spot yesterday. Now it's in the 5th spot at an $82 million market cap. RSIC seems to be pretty flat ever since the Bitcoin stuff, but sitting at 113. And Bank still sitting at 145 million. But this one is the only one that's not fully diluted out of these right here, besides Fahu, which has really been taking a beating here too. Taking a look here, Decentralized has just been down only lately. I'm really hoping some news comes out for these guys soon. At least something. Satoshi Nakamoto, $1.33, still staying over $1, which is still pretty strong, $27 million market cap. And then you got Zbit had a great weekend, up at a $12 million market cap. And then, we have Donald Trump. And this is why I'm so big on RSM here. It's number 18 at a $5 million market cap. This could easily, pop up to somewhere up here between Satoshi Nakamoto, Decentralized, and Lobo. I think it could easily get up here. So that's a 4 or 5x from there. Again, not financial advice. It's something that I'm doing personally, and we did with the Ordinal Revolution, $5,000 to $100,000 challenge. But we'll see what happens with that. It is up a lot. I understand that. Stupid Silly Little Cat sitting at a $1.8 million market cap. This one that it flew up, and then
did you say down. Stupid Silly Little Cat?
Yeah, Stupid Silly Little Cat.
You added the little in there.
Yeah,
that's funny.
I'm not a big fan of it. And then Short the Dollar, where's that one at? I think it's down a little further here. It's another one we added to that.
It's up. That,
right
there. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. So this one we added to the challenge. We just added 100 hours worth of this into the challenge. Just as like this is kind of
It was
our
a gamble play
moonshot
for sure.
Gamble play for sure. But it's something that we added, and this is from the Ordinals bot guys. We're just bullets from them, and it's kind of cool ticker and a cool image as well. So that's the reason why we added that. But yeah, any comment on the on these runes here? Do you think we have a good week? I guess it really depends on Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, it really does depend on Bitcoin. Really, Bitcoin gets to high 60,000s, low 70,000s again. DOG gets announced on Binance. Bam, we have another run up, right away.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of we're sitting back. Everybody's sitting back, watching Bitcoin, seeing what Bitcoin wants to do. It looks like that bull flag is starting to play out, though. We'll see if
you want to show it real quick.
Yeah, you can see right here, starting to come up here. We did.
Yeah.
I mean, it was green here, and then we did have a tiny little pullback here, but we can continue this pump up here. Just finish out this bull flag. Maybe get to 63.5, complete that bull flag, and see where we go from there. It'd be really, really
interesting. Good. Yeah, man.
Yep.
All right, jump to some Q&A stuff here.
All right, let's do it. Not a ton of questions in here, guys. So let's keep putting questions in. I know that you guys are going to have questions for the Merlin builders and Jeff as well. So I'll skip the Jeff questions for now, which there's a lot. But let's start with Patapoo here. Patapoo, our guy. He says, is OpCat the critical missing link to allow BTC to scale? What do you think after our conversation
100%.
with Bob?
That's exactly what Bob said. He said this was something added from Satoshi, taken out, and now like has been other things added to kind of negate Satoshi's reasons for taking it out. So Bob thinks that is the ultimate scaling solution, and it's the safest for the time being.
Yeah, and I asked him a question during that episode, and I said, well, it definitely will make life easier for builders, right? Because there's many things you can do with it, but it's not going to speed up the chain necessarily at all, really, because you might have these AMMs on Bitcoin's native layer and stuff like that, these DEXs, but it's still 10-minute blocks, right? But what he did say is that OpCat will also make zero knowledge proofs a lot easier, and that's what will speed up transactions. And you're going to have to lead that out to an L2, but you will be able to have an actual traditional layer 2 that will be doing transactions on Bitcoin directly, right? So I think that to make a long answer short, yes, it's definitely. And then at that point, you can probably add other opcodes too, like opctv and stuff like that enhances it. But the one thing that he said that really stuck out to me was covenants. OpCat offers covenants, which you can set limitations on, how, like, there's only wallets that are related to like this main wallet address that can send and receive the Bitcoin in your wallet. And I thought that was really, really cool because it's like just an awesome security feature that OpCat would bring to already amazing secure blockchain, right? So that'd be really cool if we see projects focus on that too.
I agree. I'm just grabbing the names real quick.
Okay.
If I seem like, so.
Jacob Donahue says, epic is epic, but how epic will epic be?
Interesting.
Epic is how epic will be. How epic it will be. I don't know what's going on with that whole runes token. Just a bunch of epics, and I believe the blob founders are behind it. But the parent inscription, right, or for the runes token, isn't it like the epic rune or the epic sat?
Yeah, I mean it's So I mean, obviously, is it? I don't think it's parent-child to the.
I don't know how it would work. That they created the initial etching on the epic sat. I imagine that they're not going to spin the epic sat, right? Obviously. Yeah. So I just don't know how that works out with runes. you know, because runes, is it exactly like inscriptions? You know, I know it's stored in different areas on Bitcoin as well. So yeah, whatever they have for that project, I'd be interested. They kind of get thrown into the bucket as, for me, the same ones as ZZZZZ, Fehu, and those Arsic, the ones that aren't telling you anything, but supposedly they're all going to be epic, right? So I think it's a waste of like mind energy to try to focus or find out what they're doing right now, other than, you know, unless they start talking about stuff.
I agree.
So Helpa 333 says there's a ton of the early collections with insane whales holding. A lot of the new stuff has very strong founders and communities. Yeah. I mean, do you think like there's a lot of whales holding like those early like sub 10,000 inscriptions?
I wouldn't say they're whales. I would just say they're early and they just they don't need the money, right? The only reason you would sell something that is if you were either one, wanted to get into something else, or two, you needed the money. And those, you know, if you're that early, you understand how important ordinals are to Bitcoin. And if you understand how you know, how important ordinals are to Bitcoin, then you understand the monetary value of those items are going to be worth millions of dollars someday. So why would you sell it for tens of thousands now?
Yeah. So this is the first time I feel like there's like multiple layers of value added to digital collectibles, right?
Yeah.
Because before, if you think about the layers of value that were attempted or added, you had rarity in each collection. So that was the primary one, right? That was like the one that everybody wanted, the rare Bored Ape or whatever, Pudgy Penguin. But then you had this phase of like, okay, the utility of this NFT does this or that, right? And both of those didn't necessarily have like the best longevity in terms of value stabilization. I think that's fair to say, right?
Yeah.
But now we're going to go into a bull market where Bitcoin Ordinals, which are NFTs in a sense, they're, you know, everything's inscribed on chain, but there's layers of value that is specifically added to be focused on. One, like how rare is the Satoshi that the NFT Ordinal digital artifact is inscribed on, or is there anything special about it? And then two, you know, I think one would be like how early is the inscription number, and then two would be the Satoshi, right? How special the Satoshi is that was inscribed on it. 3 is rarity, 4 is utility. So there's like two new layers of value that I think supersede the past ones, right? So I think those are more important for collectors than the other two. But now you have 4 layers of security, utility of value. Sorry, layers of value. So do you think like we see like a paradigm shift in terms of how the collectible community grows within like these digital artifacts and NFTs this cycle?
100%. Yeah, because you got to remember too, every Satoshi is different, right? So every Satoshi could mean something to certain people as well. So not only that, but like if you want it like your birthday in one of the Satoshis and that end up being like a node monkey, that might be really special to some collector. And that's something you've never had before anywhere, right? So you've never been able to, you know, grab something so meaningful to you as a person, but it also being something that, you know, is huge in the ecosystem, whether it be like a rare sat, a low inscription number, a palindrome, like you know, and go so on and so on. And I think there's going to be more and more attributes to come out that we don't even have you know, in our minds right now, but something that comes in later, and stuff that's being created right now might be super rare because later down the line those attributes come out, right? So that's something that you have to, you know, understand too. You could get something and be like, I don't even want this, but that ended up being going for millions of dollars one day because of that sat that it was on has meaning to someone else. So that's one 100%. Thing that's scary as well. You could sell something today, just like the Bitcoin pizza guy did, you know, 10,000 Bitcoin, and then one day be like, damn, I had that in my wallet and I sold it because I didn't understand that attribute would come out later.
Yeah. Well, and one thing that I've always had like in the back of my mind is, you know, how will traditional collectible companies and the industry really, you know, come over here?
Yeah.
You know, because like they try. I bring this up to like my brother, which is heavily into the sports card, Pokemon card stuff, collectible industry, and you know that whole industry talks about like how it was attempted with, you know, Panini actually has their own blockchain and, you know, all these things. But in my mind, I always say they didn't have like rare Satoshis. They didn't have like, you know, early inscriptions, which are two great layers of value that were added. Right. And so I do believe that this is the most important cycle for the digital collectibles, because I do see like big card company Tops, Paninis being able to, as long as it gets big enough to where they can learn about how to utilize and leverage these layers of value. Because now you're talking about putting all the 2024 rookie class on uncommon 2024 Satoshis. Like the let's say that like for basketball, like the rookie cards, even though they're digital, but you can put eventually that on like, let's say a cold wallet, right? And it has a uncommon 2024 rookie year like on a sat. You feel better with that like than you did just a rarity of like a collection. True. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think that's 100%. A huge transition. If we can make that happen, I think that would be so big for the digital artifact collectibles community.
More and more. So it's 100%. 100%.
Well, that was a good question. That got us, you know, jib-jabbing about collectibles and stuff like that. That was a fun one.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure that I'm getting, just so you guys know, real quick, I'm going to add this to the stage. The wheel's being built. So if you haven't put your Twitter handle in the chat yet, do it soon, because, you know, you definitely want to get on here before it's too late. So this is it right here. And we're going to be spinning this thing. So it should be fun. But let me remove this before we.
Yeah, I won. You better give it to me. Better give me my monies. No. LSR says, is it possible to get a crown off the secondary market? Yasher says,
not yet.
Yes,
not yet.
Well, I think you can go to
Inscribe. Oh,
Marketplace.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even know.
I think they have them there. Yeah. So,
what are they going for? Yasher, if you don't mind me asking.
BitRen says the late John McAfee hinted that in September Biden will be diagnosed as unfit and step down. Do you think he will be replaced by Big Mike to challenge Trump? Oh, we get a Big Mike. That's funny. That's funny. That is funny. So he said that before he passed away. That's interesting. So he said
he put out a tweet in 2019.
He said September of 2024 that Biden will. That's crazy.
And that was before Biden even won the election.
I feel like John McAfee knew a lot of stuff that he said a lot of things, but like he probably kept in some stuff too.
Yeah.
Mugen says, are there any charts for tap tokens? Are there any charts for tap tokens?
Not yet, no. It'll probably be on the marketplace though.
Yeah,
building.
I think they should definitely include that. Let me see if there's anything on Ordinal's wallet. I don't think there is. Looking right now, or maybe SatsX too, because I would think if SatsX might have some charting. Yeah, I can't wait till the official tap exchange launches, because I do think that they're gonna, you know, make sure it's built out very, you know, robustly. That's not a word, I know, but and I imagine they'll have charts and all that great stuff there. Yeah, so no charts as of right now, but let's see if they add the charts to the tap marketplace. That would be really, really cool if they did that.
100%. Yo, is Rocket Dog in here?
Is
Rocket
he?
For today? I think
it's
so.
Been 84 years, Rocket.
His name came up when I'm doing the thing. I haven't seen him. Where is it? You see it? Yeah, Rocket Dog's here. Yo, shout out Rocket Dog. Welcome back, buddy. We missed you. Rocket is
one
our
of
number
earliest
one.
supporters, man.
Our number one subscriber, followed by Danny Boy. They're like 30 seconds apart or some craziness, like a couple minutes apart.
Every time you say that, I think about twins. I'm like, we were 2 minutes
Rocket
apart.
Danny, they're twins. They're twinning. But I was going through the names and I'm just kind of grabbing them all and put them in ChatGPT and telling them to give me a list. And I saw the name Rocket Dog and I was like, oh crap, he's here. Shout out Rocket, man.
Yep. All right. Crypto University says, what do you think about Royals? What do you think about the DMT Royals project?
I like them a lot. They're like I think I have 4 or 5 of them right now. I'm probably gonna look into getting some more, but that's something that definitely could explode for sure.
Yeah. Why do you think those were so popular at first? Because they were,
the name's cool, being a king, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Didn't the M Crown kind of come from that? It was like if you were testing the Royals, I think mint or something, you got like an M Crown or something.
Yeah.
And then that gave you a whitelist for the Royals. I remember that, or some crazy stuff like that. Yeah. So I don't know. I think the Royals are cool. They're different. I don't know. I just felt like there was a lot of like hype about it, and we'll see where it goes. The one thing I will say though is the distribution was better for Royals than initially for Natcats. I think Natcats started at like 1.5K or like 2.5K. So it was really, that's what kind of held the price back a bit for Natcats, is that there was a lot of listings, but then that distribution's gotten better, obviously, over time. The puppets. Damn it. There we go. I mean, is my computer going to let me use it? Jeez. Seriously, my computer's like making me so mad right now. All right, there we go. So distribution for Natcats are 3.6K. So if you look at the Royals, 5.5K, that's a lot better initial distribution. But I do think, Natcats will be always first, but Royals has a good, strong opportunity to catch up. And really depending on how strong the community is to not list and really, take advantage of the upcoming bull market. Those are the top 2 collections in my mind as of now for DMT.
Yeah. I'm trying to see if there's any comments on X to make sure I got everyone in here.
Matt, he says, what are your thoughts on uni worlds and governance keys?
I'm not too bullish on uni worlds. I know a good friend Block is very bullish on everything Unisat, but for me, I'm just not. I just think it's another metaverse play. I'm not very bullish on it, no.
Yeah, I mean, I have to look into like what the governance entails. Like, what are they going to have governance over? But I feel like the Unisat ecosystem and stuff that's being built out, I feel like it's so hush hush. You know what I mean? And it's hard to really project how things are going to go over there, because like you logically you think, okay, these guys have a lot of capital. They have partnerships with Binance. They have tons of stuff going on. They're not going to just waste this opportunity. Then you hear about uni worlds. It's kind of trying to be that standard that's competing against bitmaps, and they're game builders. And then you have like some of these other like applications that are building in Unisat's ecosystem, but you don't get to really see like too much examples or get too much information on it. It's kind of like you just got to wait and see, and that's tough luck.
100%.
But the rest of the space is kind of doing that too now. They've kind of caught up to Unisat. Unisat's been doing that since like February, since they released the swap module. But everybody else has been kind of trying to deliver on things and stuff. And as of late, they're kind of taking the Unisat approach and saying, well, you guys are just going to have to wait, and that's tough luck.
Yeah, I know, but it's only a certain amount of time you can really wait. Like I've given up on Uniswap swap at this point. We were so bullish on last year, and the swap right now to me is just secondary now because there's already so many now that are already building something, and we'll see if they can be number one. But as of right now, I mean, I'll never be as hype as I was 6 months ago for sure.
Yeah. All right, guys. So if there's questions about any of the Merlin project, I'm saving those. So put your questions in for Verium DEX. Put your questions in for Ordinal Hive. Put your questions in for Bitmap 420, and put your questions in for Jeff. And I will star those and save those.
100%.
All right, here's a good one for you. Sixes, our guy Sixes. He says, question, with Plan B chart pattern history, where based on that will the top hypothetically be this cycle? So, let's not get Shizzy going with the Plan B chart. Pull it out. Pull it out. Let's do it.
All right, I'll go get it. But it's 700K. 700K is the number that Plan B is showing for that. So that they're saying that will be the top. Let me just grab it here. But I'm still waiting on Plan B to kind of jump in, and right now he's on a detox. He says a Twitter detox, so he hasn't put out any new chart for them this month yet. He said he will put out a video for it. So, but I can.
I was
show
about
you
to
guys
say, man, he can't just like stop doing it in the middle of it. Yeah.
But this is the chart that he showed. He said, I'm sailing. Time for a digital detox. No Twitter, only the monthly outlook on Twitter bio. And this is June 17th. So he hasn't put out anything since June 17th. So I'm still kind of waiting. But this is a cool image. You see Donald Trump staring at the stock to flow there. But the original stock to flow, which is pretty far right now, but it's right here. He has on this chart. I mean, if we get to the line that we've previously hit, it's around $700,000 per Bitcoin by the next 15 months. So that's coming from Plan B. I mean, I'm very bullish on it. I think it's definitely possible. But you can see we hit our first red dot last month. He's going to add the second red dot for June here soon, and it's probably going to be a little lower than this one. So it's probably going to be here. But you've seen it's always been a little bit of a cluster before we start going. And if we can kind of ride this up, we're going to ride this up all the way to potentially $700,000 in about 15 months. So that's what the chart says. I'm just going by the charts. So
yeah, I mean, you're not lying about that. You are going off of the chart, the Plan B chart. He did overshoot a bit last cycle, but not too crazy. I think
only by 30%.
Yeah. I mean, 30% is significant when you're talking about Bitcoin value. But I mean, honestly, it wasn't that bad. There was definitely manipulation happening, in the crypto markets and stuff. So, who knows? Maybe without the whole FTX manipulation, it could have broke 100K. But hey, if he's close to 750, if he's 30% off of 750,000, let's see what that would be.
I've still $400,000, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, you're looking at 525,000.
Yeah.
So I'll take that as a top for sure.
Day.
Yeah.
But I do see that we have Jeff in the green room right now. Before we get to that, we'll kind of jump back to the questions a little later today. But I want to get one of these wheel names out, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. All right, this is for the first. I love the image in the middle, man.
Yeah, it's the Merlin
Good
Monday.
luck, everybody.
So you got it. Congratulations,
Cardinoscopy. Yeah.
So I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna put that in our chat here. And you have won the first Ordinal Hive pass. So congratulations. And I'm gonna send that to you, Yagobi, so I have that written down.
Yes, congratulations to Cardinoscopy. Good job there. It took a lot of skill for you to win that one. but good job winning it for sure. You win yourself an Ordinal Hive pass, which is gonna have a lot of benefits. I believe there's gonna be some fees, benefits, and some other stuff that we'll let Fonzie and the Hive team talk about here in a little bit.
We're going to be giving away 4 more, guys. Going to be 4 more spins on this wheel, so tune in to the rest of the show. We're going to periodically hit these out through the Merlin Monday that's about to start in 2 minutes. So, guys, and also we're going to give one to the best question. Whoever has the best question in the chat will also receive and Ordinal Hive Pass. Me and Yagobi will talk about that later in the show, and we'll let the winner know probably outside of the show as well. We'll probably hit you up and say you won, and I'll tell everyone the next day what the question was and everything with that. So because that's going to take us a little time to figure out which was the best question, so we're not just on the air doing it. So, but without further ado, here, ready to bring in Jeff?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Do it.
Yo, what's up, Jeff? How you doing, buddy?
Yeah, what's up, guys? Doing great.
What's going on, man? We got 483 people in here, Jeff. So many questions came in today for you already, so people are very excited for you. But could you give us any updates? What's going on with Merlin before we bring in the other guys?
Yeah, so I think the latest news is we started the on-chain summer in June, and we're going to have this monthly event. So this will not be the end, actually it will be the start. So in July, August, we'll have similar events. We're trying to bring liquidity, users, assets into layer 2 to have multiple benefits, and we give incentives to these people who actually do all kinds of activities on chain. And I think in 2 weeks, we got like 340, 350 million trading volume for spot and for perps. And we are going to expand, more pairs. Like right now, we have Dog, we have Lobo, we have RuFi, we have Bitmap. We have, some pairs, but, we are trying to expand more to have like Rune Coins, to have Pizza, to have the popular pairs to bring the liquidity here to make people easier to trade. Actually, I was just checking, the Bitmap token. You guys know there's like one whale on layer 1, right? Who has like 30K Bitmaps, right? He actually, yeah, like some people guess, this guy is, like someone, but I don't want to say names because there's no evidence. But yeah, this guy had like 30K Bitmaps on layer 1. He actually staked, into Merlin sale, I think 11, 12K Bitmaps to get all these Merls. And I just saw it today. I think like 17 hours ago, he just swapped like 1K Bitmaps into Bitmap token and just dumped the Bitmaps, into the LP. So I mean, if you want to dump, your Bitmaps, that's easier because you can just dump 1,000 Bitmaps in 1 second to get all Bitcoin. And also, if you want to buy Bitmap, that's easier too. If I want to buy Bitmaps on Magic Eden, like having all these inscriptions, spending all these gas fees per inscription, but I can just buy, like $500,000 for Bitmaps. So yeah, so I just saw the guy dumping all his Bitmaps. He just dumped 1K. He still have 10K on Merlin. I don't know when will he finish dumping, but yeah, that's just something I figured.
Wow, so he's actually staking them, right? Because the APY is pretty insane over there on Merlin Swap for these Bitmaps, correct?
Yeah. So he had 30K. He dumped 18K. When Bitmap was like really high. So he has only like 12K left, and he staked all 12K Bitmaps into Merlin. I'm saying this because I know it's not me, but I don't know who that is. But he just like started dumping Bitmap token right now. So I think it's a good sign, for the whale losing all of their Bitmaps, and finally the community can get this asset.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We did.
Go ahead. I was gonna say we got a couple of the other builders down below, but how we're gonna do this, we're gonna bring them up one by one eventually, and kind of explain what they're building and stuff like that, and then we'll go to a panel at the very end. But before we do that, Jeff, one of the topics we talked about during our live stream was, Merlin seems to be focused on prioritizing like genuine use cases, right? That's something that came out. I don't know if you posted that or someone from the Merlin Chain Twitter did, but basically, focusing on genuine, utility use cases, as well as like building up the liquidity for these Bitcoin layer 1 assets. So could you explain a little bit more in detail why that's so important?
Yes, because I think layer 2s, I think 99% of the layer 2s are just not make sense, Like if you look right now, there are like 1,000 layer 2s, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and if you look at like Starknet, ZK Sync, who has like billions of dollar valuation, but they have like very, very little unique addresses every day. I think I checked, one of them had like 100 addresses per day, even though it's a multi-billion chain. And you just cannot find any use case for these layer 2s. I mean, right now Ethereum has like lowest gas fee ever. If you want to do transaction there, I think Ethereum has lower gas fee than Merlin. So I don't think layer 2 is a legit object unless you're doing something different. For Bitcoin, the thing is, some people argue Bitcoin doesn't need a layer 2, which I think it's to me, I think this is 100% wrong, because Bitcoin is the only chain which needs layer 2, because Bitcoin layer 1 cannot do smart contract. I mean, if you consider BVM or OPCat in the future, yeah, it might. But right now, it's the only chain who doesn't have smart contract. So everything you can do on Bitcoin layer 2s, you cannot do on Bitcoin layer 1. But for Ethereum layer 2s, for whatever layer 2 that is, you can basically do all of that on Ethereum. So I think, so that's the reason we're building for all these Bitcoin native assets like Runes, BRC20, Ordinals. You have the bridge to bridge in, bridge out all these assets. You can do lending, you can do DEX, swap, you can do perp. So, if you have like lots of Bitmap token and you don't want to sell them, so basically you can just put that into the lending protocol and get some, stable coins or Bitcoin out. You can start to buy other assets like dog or pizza. So that's like a use case, but you cannot do that on layer 1 easily. So I think that's the reason, and I think that's the only way out for all these Bitcoin layer 2s. Those Bitcoin layer 2s who are not doing that is not going to survive in the future.
Yeah, I completely agree with you on that. You hit the nail on the head with Bitcoin's really the only native layer that needs it, like really needs it right now, is because you can't scale it out. And even when OPCat comes, the transaction speeds are not going to be super fast until you have some sort of zero knowledge type of technology, wrapping up all those transactions to make it a little bit faster. But still, there's a limitation to that. And then at that point, you're still talking about layer 2. So that's really good in terms of what you guys are building over there. Is there other L2s that are taking the Bitcoin layer 1 asset approach though, or is it just Merlin right now?
I think, to be fair, I think most of them are trying to, but in the current status, I don't think they have done that so far, or because they are in a later stage than Merlin. So I hope all of them will do that in the future.
Gotcha.
I mean, you're definitely not an L2 unless I can go there and get runes and BRC20s, right? So I mean, or in bitmaps and stuff like that. So definitely, you guys are definitely one of the few that are actually solving the pain point. I mean, especially with the dApps that we're going to talk about later today, with like Verium DEX and and Ordinal Hive and especially BRC420, which should be definitely some pain points. And what Ben Stiller's building. What's that? Bitmap 420, correct?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, what do you want to get into next year?
Well, I'd say let's bring up Sam from Verium DEX first. We're still waiting on Ordinal Hive, but we do have VDEX as well as Bitmap 420. So we'll start off with Sam here. I'm going to bring him up. Welcome to the stage, Sam, founder of VDEX, Verium DEX. Could you kind of introduce yourself to the audience and just talk a little bit about what VDEX is trying to do and how it benefits the Bitcoin ecosystem community as well as people on Merlin?
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me. My name is Sam. I'm the founder of Verium DEX, and we've been developing this DEX on Uniswap v2 for the past couple of months, and now it's completed. We're going to be launching pretty soon, probably mid-July, likely before. There will be some announcement on our social channels in regards to this, so make sure you follow us over there. But yeah, I mean, for me, the reason why I developed Verium DEX is because basically liquidity pools, right? So that we have all these runes and different tokens, token standards like BRC20s and whatnot. But I think if you right now, the way these tokens are, they're just traded as NFTs, right? Not so much runes, but they're not. You cannot really pair them with wrap BTC or BTC. I think DotSwap recently came out and they're allowing the pairing of BTC with runes. I don't know exactly how they work, but there's an issue there that there's transaction fees and then 2%. Platform fees as well. So, and I'm not sure if it's instantaneous or not, but I think to create an experience such as Uniswap or Solana trading for Bitcoin assets, there has to be a layer 2 DEX, and that's the reason why we created Verium DEX. And I think our objective would be, like, once we launch, is to work with various different communities on Ordinals. And I mean, we've already collaborated with a bunch of them to have them launch their token on our platform. And we can really make that whole experience smooth for these communities, where we're like, okay, if you want to launch a token and provide liquidity for that token on our platform, we will handle the full, like, hey, this is your rune, you can bridge it over, we can help you with that. And then, you know, as long as you provide liquidity, we will make sure that that whole experience happens smoothly with us. I know there's Merlin Swap out there. The way we differentiate from Merlin Swap is we are a Uniswap v2 fork of it. And so what that allows a person to do is do, like, various sort of, like, kooky contracts, right? Whether you want to do a rebase token or like a contract with transaction fees, all that is available on V2. Whereas if you do like the V3 version of Uniswap, some of those contracts cannot be done, because we did try to do that, right? We made a full contract and tried to launch it on Merlin Swap, but we were not able to do that because of the limitations of V3 contract. So we made our own DEX, and we will be launching soon. And on our DEX, you will have all sorts of functionalities available. And yeah, that's the reason why we created Verium DEX, and we're pretty excited about it.
Awesome. And you know, one thing that you guys were able to do was really kind of build out initial community by launching a BRC 420 with the Verium mines, and you know, so you have already kind of that community support. That launch, and I remember that because we had you on live during that time, went extremely well. You know, one thing that I noticed, and it's not just you guys, but like a lot of projects have kind of pushed back their launch dates. And if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense because of, you know, the market conditions. Could you kind of go into a little bit of detail? You don't have to go too deep, but a little bit of detail on you know, what's you guys have been doing with like the building up to the launch, maybe why you guys had to push back, and then also like when you confidently feel like you know, the DEX will be launched and people can start staking their mines.
Yeah, so, you know, I mean, our DEX, full DEX had been completed like 3 weeks ago, but I think for me, I just wanted to like test it, right? I mean, there were like little bugs here and there that needs to be fixed. It takes a while. Like, I mean, you know, community wants things done yesterday, but it's not that easy. Like for us, in order for us to be compatible with Particle Network, we had to rewrite the full Uniswap code and update each one of the libraries, and that takes time. And that's the reason why it took us about 2 months to do. We updated all the Uniswap code so that it's compatible with the Particle Network node, and then you know, the full analytics page and all that. These things kind of take time, and once that was done, I think in the past couple of weeks we were just creating a bunch of staking pools, liquidity staking pools, and staking pool for Verium mines themselves. And just to complete all this, it takes a little bit of time. And we're also going to have NUSD on our platform, where you could stake NUSD with USDT, but there's a limitation with NUSD. Since it's 0 decimal place on layer 1, you cannot technically create a token on layer 2 with 0 decimal places, right? Like ERC20s cannot be 0 decimal place. So this is another thing that we kind of ran into. So we had to create I mean, this is not too hard to do, but we had to create a wrapped NUSD contract, which we did. And I've been kind of testing that as well. So these kind of things takes time. Like there are always things, at least what from my experience, that are not anticipated that do come up, and then, you know, fixing that takes like a week or something like that. And that's why things do get delayed. And that's the reason why we didn't want to give a concrete date for the launch, but we are very near launching our platform, and it's going to happen very soon. And yeah, that's the reason why it took us a little bit longer than we would have liked.
Awesome, great answer. Why was it important to go to the V2 route, Uniswap V2 route, than the V3 route? Obviously, Merlin Swap is V3. What Why go that route instead of just going with the normal V3?
I think like for me, like I think this is a little bit subjective too. I did a lot of my trading back in the day on V2, so I personally like V2. You know, and I think I haven't in terms of V3, it does have its advantages with like limit orders and things like that, which is pretty cool. But with V2, you can do say like you want to create a contract with 10,000 tokens and create a liquidity pool, but now you want to do a 1% transaction fees that gets redistributed into the liquidity pool. You could do that with V2, but with V3 you can't. Or you want to create a rebase token, right? Like a token that rebases itself to $1 every single day, where the supply is dynamic, but the price remains the same. These kind of contracts, which are kind of kooky, and you can easily do it on a V2 rather than V3, and that's the reason why we chose V2. So we want like a little bit like degen kind of trading and on our platform. And that's purely the reason why. When we were going to launch our token and we wanted to do a rebase token, basically a rebase token, let me just quickly explain what it is. It's like it rebalances itself to $1 every day. The price of the token doesn't goes to $1, but the underlying supply varies, right? So if you have 100 tokens in your wallet, they can become 200 or 300, but the value of the token remains the same, and the price always rebalances to $1. This is the tokenomics that I wanted to create for my community, but you couldn't launch that on V3. So we were like, okay, this is missing on Merlin Chain, and we're just going to go ahead and create a DEX for it that can support that. And that's what our motivation was, to create a V2 DEX on Merlin Chain.
Gotcha. I love it, man. Let's get.
You should have started with that. You should have started with that. You created it for the degens.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. And that's kind of what our plan is too. Like if we're working with a lot of communities, we've collaborated, but you know, I think like at this point, 40, 50 different communities, right? And some of these communities are thriving. So we're reaching out to them like, hey, why don't you do a token distribution and launch a small liquidity pool on our platform, and we'll help you facilitate the whole thing. Do the mint on Runes layer 1, will help you bridge it over to layer 2, and then start creating liquidity pools for them. And that's the direction we're going to take with this.
That's awesome. I love how your focus is really just, you know, on these Bitcoin layer 1 users that you're trying to solve pain points for. So we appreciate you explaining that to the entire audience, Sam. If you could hang out with us down below for a little bit longer, and we're going to bring you back up at the end for Q&A. But appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you for having me up here.
Yep. All right. While we before we bring up our next guest, which is Ben Schiller from Bitmap 420, do you want to do a quick little giveaway?
Yeah, definitely. Pop this back up real quick. So, guys, if you don't know, we're giving away Ordinal Hive passes. Ordinal Hive passes went live on Friday through Ordzar. It was a huge hit. It definitely minted out very quickly. A lot of people didn't get a chance to get them. So we were lucky enough to get a couple to kind of give away here. So we gave away one so far. We're giving away another 4 more. So I did. If you haven't added your name, add your name to the comments here. Just put @ and it has to be your Twitter handle. If it's not your Twitter handle, we won't be able to find you. So that way that'll get us from giving your pass to someone else with a similar name.
And if you see Yagobi on there 10 times, just ignore it. That's an illusion.
Just ignore the multiple. So here's the spin for the second high pass we're giving away, guys. Let's go. Who gets it? It's Satoshi.
Oh,
congratulations.
Satoshi. Congrats, Satoshi. I feel like he called that. He was like, I'm going to win one today.
And we'll jump real quick. Jeff, what's your thoughts on Verium before we go to Bitmap 420?
Yeah, I think it's great thinking about bringing the V2 DEX to Merlin. I think will functional chain probably have different kind of DEX to fulfill different needs from users. Like right now, if you want to do common trading about like all kinds of tokens, like including stable coins, Bitcoin, you can use Merlin as well. But if you want to do some specific use needs, and also if you want some specific kind of pairs, like right now we only have like the blue chips, the dog, and very soon the pizza and the Merl, of course. But if you want to have like variety of tokens, and we will have a like very cool launch pad. I mean, not launch pad. I mean, a launch tool for all kinds of ruins of ERC20. So we have all these kind of tools to launch like 100,000 meme coins one day. You'll have several decks. So I think it's very great thing to come to Merlin to build this kind of stuff. And also, I mean, many people have come to me that saying, oh, I want to build this, but you guys already have something similar like this. So I don't want to build here. I want to go to another chain to do that. But eventually you will find out you have to pick the winner, to be honest. And if you are a great builder, you are never afraid of competition. And I think you guys understand like what I'm saying. Like we do not favor any specific team. We treat them as equal. If you can actually bring users and volume, we will give you grants. We'll appreciate you. We'll do marketing with you. I'll do Twitter space with you every day. That's fine. So just come to Merlin, build something great. Don't be afraid of competition. All these steps are very new. They are very they are very new too. And if they stop for a while, you probably will win.
100%. I just love that he came to Merlin to build something, and he realized he wasn't able to use the Merlin swap DEX, and then he had to pivot, create his own DEX to be able to create the next thing. So I think that's really cool. It's just innovation happening on Merlin, and it's really cool how people have to pivot and in order to create something else, in order to create the original thing that they were thinking of doing anyway. So it's pretty cool.
Yep. All right, we're going to bring up our next guest, guys. Ben Schiller. If you've been in the space and you used to listen to our Saturday morning spaces, then you know who Ben Schiller is. He came out of the BTC Startup Lab. Actually, which is wild, is that all three of these guests came out of BTC Startup Lab. So shout out and props to Albert and those guys over there. They're doing some great things. But without further ado, let's bring Mr. Ben Schiller to the stage. Welcome, sir.
Hello. Thanks for having me, folks. Good to see you again, Jeff.
Yeah, great seeing you, Ben.
All right. So as I mentioned, everybody knows Ben Schiller. If you've been in the space for a while, and he really started to focus on Bitmap 420. I want to say maybe 3 months ago. Maybe I'm off a little bit on that time frame, but could you explain to the audience what you guys are building, how it benefits, even more specifically, how it benefits Bitmap holders in the Bitmap community, if you could? Oh, you there, Ben?
Oh, did we?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
You're good.
Okay, great. Bitmap 420. So we're building tools and infrastructure for the Bitcoin metaverse. So the simplest thing to do is start with the name Bitmap and 420. So Bitmap is the land of the Bitcoin metaverse, and BRC 420, created by our man Jeff Yen, is the metaverse protocol that allows for interoperability of assets as well as royalties in these assets. So I came at this from the point of from a creator standpoint, right? So I came across BRC 420. I've had personal experience working with artists and 3D and all that sorts of stuff, and being a Bitcoiner. Came across BRC 420 and I was like, oh, this is so cool. So I started to build things, and just seeing the space grow and explode. And it was right about the time that Merlin Chain itself was taking off. So I think, like a lot of other builders, you started to get so excited thinking that the things would start to evolve quickly around it. And the team, rightfully so, started focusing much more on Merlin Chain. So that was the point where I was like, well, similar to Sam, where it was like, hey, I want to see all of these other things built. Who's going to do it? Oh, I guess that's me. So just started getting deeper and deeper into building out the ecosystem, both in Bitmap and BRC 420. So with Bitmap, what we've done over the last couple of months is work on a protocol level, first and foremost, just to solidify some of the things within the protocol to make it safe for builders, knowing that, okay, at least this level of protocol is going to be stable. So specifically, we worked with the creator of the Bitmap protocol, Bitoshi, to solidify the parent-child relationship standard within Bitmap. And what that allows us to do is to say, hey, your Bitmap can now be broken down into smaller chunks, And that way of doing it is according to the Ordinal standard parent-child relationship, which allows us, and I'll get into the tools that we're building, allows us to build a bitmap parceling tool. And we'll get into the benefits of that. And I worked with Jeff to open up the BRC 420 standard so we can get some more diversity in terms of the marketplaces that are out there. And since we've worked together to do that, I've heard of at least 4 marketplaces that are in the works, ours included, as well as with Bitmap, at least 3 parceling tools as well. So really trying to build a lot of utility into both Bitmap and BRC 420 with the goal of ultimately being able to bring what we consider to be the Bitcoin metaverse to life.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So you mentioned, working with Bitoshi, and first I got to commend you, man. During a period of lullness, if that's a word, with Bitmap, the Bitmap community and Bitmap price action, you decided to dive actually like head first into this, which I think that's a big undertaking. So I think that takes a lot of courage. So good job on that. But
thank you, sir.
At first, I feel like when I would see your posts and stuff, it was kind of like, okay, where do I take this? Where do I take this? And then it seemed like you were starting to mold things kind of like, okay, this is what we're going to go after. And then Bitoshi kind of came out of nowhere and said, okay, the parent-child, the parceling standard has to change because of, the way that ordinal theories work and all this stuff, right? And so it seems like you were like really quick to get with him and say, okay, so what is it now? So you guys can get it right. Because I'm in the camp that believes that like if Bitmap is going to be mass adopted, then it has to happen on a scalable layer, which Merlin is the perfect layer for that. So what was your mindset whenever you first took it over and said, where am I gonna start? Were you just like wanting to work with Bitoshi, or were you just like, we're gonna do our own thing and figure it out?
Yeah, it's a bit of both, right? So you can always think about doing stuff forever, but at some point you just have to, put one foot in front of the other. So that's what we did in terms of the Bitmap parceling tool. So and just one more thing, just for a little bit of background for the audience. So you have a bitmap, and that's technically it's called a district. And when you see a bitmap, you see all those little squares. Those little squares are transactions in the Bitcoin block. So a bitmap points to a Bitcoin block. Those little squares that you see are transactions within a Bitcoin block. And those transactions can be broken out into their own little separate pieces of land called parcels. So the reason that you want to be able to have a way to do that is ultimately that expands the amount of activity that you can have within Bitmap. There's 800 and however many blocks there are, 840 something thousand blocks. But when you look into the amount of parcels, the amount of transactions, that becomes, explodes into the millions. So when you're talking about, being able to scale to a mass level, you're going to need a lot more than 840,000 if we're actually going to make this into an interoperable metaverse. I mean, if you think of, let's say just a meme coin, right? What happens if everyone within the dog coin decides that they want to buy a piece of Bitcoin metaverse land relatively close to everyone else within their meme coin? Okay, all the bitmaps are gone. That would be great for the price of single bitmaps, but it would be not very functional. So when you have that sort of idea, well, if people can buy, just like you can buy a smaller part of Bitcoin, right? You can buy a part of a Bitcoin, you can buy a part of a bitmap. Now you see why having the divisibility in the same way that you can divide Bitcoin, you can divide Bitmap into these smaller parts, into these parcels. So with that background, you can kind of see the importance of doing it. How we did it was the question, right? Which was there was some concern that, okay, we might do it this way, and the way that Tap does their things, where you actually have something and then you kind of put it back into the wallet, and that's all fine and dandy, but that was the way it was before the ORD update introduced parent-child. Why is it important to have parent-child? Because you can just literally look and see on any kind of ORD client, anytime you see a provenance standard, the actual parent-child standard, you can see that relationship. You can see that, yes, this parcel came from this bitmap. So when you start to add other assets like BRC 420s that are created from parcels, like DMT elements that are created from parcels, rather than create some whole other system that you're going to have to keep up with, why not just use whatever the ordinal standard is, which is parent-child? So that opens up a whole door to basically anyone to be able to build, and it opens the door to be able to have all of the other resources like wallets, like exchanges, not have to adapt a whole new unique system just for Bitmap. You can just say, hey, do you use Ord? Yes. All right. You can work with this right off the bat. So when you talk about growing the network, when you're talking about growing utility and ultimately adding value, the ability to evolve Bitmap according to just standard Bitcoin ordinals was super, super critical. So that's why I put the time and energy and effort, because it's like, I can make something, but I can make something for me, but a guy in just in a basement, that's not an ecosystem. That's not going to grow. It's only going to get so big. So that's why I was wanting to put so much effort into making sure that we got consensus over this. We got everyone together, and at least we've got this bit done, right? So now we've got space for builders to come and build.
I love it, man. You guys are building infrastructure and so much more. It's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
My last question, real quick, because we're running short on time and we want to make sure we get everybody up. But if you could give me a short answer here, are you looking to integrate the Bitmap token into the infrastructure for this?
Oh, so that's a Jeff question with the Bitmap token. I'm definitely curious to get some more thoughts on that. But absolutely, I mean, I ultimately see the future that we're doing first with our Bitmap parceling tool, second with an AI engine to help people analyze their bitmaps and parcels. That's the number one question everyone always asks: which bitmap should I buy? Right? And basically it comes down to, well, I like this one because it's pretty, or I like the numbers. But there's a whole life underneath, which is the Bitcoin block data. And there's just so much data in that no human could ever analyze it. So the importance of having an AI engine. After that, we're creating what's called BRC 888, which is a yield generation protocol. Think of what DMT is. Really, it's a practical application of DMT specifically for Bitmap. And ultimately, it ends with, of course, a Bitcoin layer 2 exchange specifically focused on Bitcoin metaverse assets. And where's that going to be built? Ta-da! Take a wild guess. Merlin Chain. So that's the roadmap that we have. And before we go, I do want to add one piece of actual news today. So we are working with the Layer 1 Foundation. Layer 1 Foundation is supported by Domo, Unisat. They're the maintainers of BRC20. They have what's called the Open Protocol, Open Protocol Indexer. Which, as it sounds, is an open protocol indexer. And we are going to be, and this is the news part, putting in a pull request to update the open protocol indexer with this new Bitmap parceling standard. So good news for everyone in the Bitmap community. We've got a great, open, secure, well-maintained indexer that will have parcels soon.
Awesome, man. Love it. Love it all, man. I'm super excited. I think this is exactly what the Bitmap community needs. So appreciate you explaining and answering those questions. If you could hang down for a little bit, and we're going to bring up the next guest here. But we got some Q&A.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yep. All right. Before we do that, Jeff, real quick, what are your thoughts on what Bitmap 420 is building? And, just, we know you're crazy about Bitmap. That's kind of what attracted you to Ordinals, but just your thoughts on it.
Yeah, of course. I think for every asset or for every project, I think they're trying to do some innovation about, in my mind, like 4 parts. The first part is about narrative. The second part is about liquidity. The third part is about utility. The fourth part is about experience. I think the Bitmap, community needs right now is, first narrative. I think they're trying to build something with a new narrative here. I know Bitoshi started, bring out the idea of parceling or like way before that. So I think this part will make people more interested, will make people more realize the value behind this block data. And also, what we're doing with Bitmap token is about bringing the the liquidity there, because like if you want to buy or sell right now, it's easier for you to do like for 10K or for 100K. And also, I think the experience part is that what Bitmap.game was trying to build. That part is the hardest, because like there are very few teams can build actual games in the crypto space. We see like Scribe.space, they're building great stuff. We saw like Bitmap Valley. So I think there are very few teams are trying to do to build experience, because that part is the part you actually have to spend money on game devs and stuff. And also the last part is about like the utility. If we have all these builders trying to jump in to build like different dimensions for these assets, we definitely see a bright future about Bitmaps.
100%. How important do you think bitmaps are to the layer one ecosystem? If bitmaps, if people just start dumping their bitmaps to zero, would that really like affect what we're doing here?
Yeah, I think Bitmap is so special. Like when we name ourselves Bitmap Tech, everybody was like cheering. Oh, like Merlin Chain is promoting this. And right now, when the price is down, they're saying we stole the name or stuff. But the reason we changed the name, because we thought Bitmap is so special. It's something other chains don't have or couldn't have. So if this failed, to be honest, I really and kind of disappointed, because we need some narrative from Bitcoin. We have meme coins on Solana, on Arbitrum, on Base, on Ethereum. So we have all kinds of meme tokens. But the new narrative here, very unique asset here is important. So I think everyone from the community should just light up a little bit, experience the bear market, for right now. But I definitely think something so unique will have its moment.
I couldn't agree more. Perfect.
Awesome. All right. Want to do a quick spin?
I was just about to say, yep.
Good luck.
So again, we're going to be giving away. Yep, we're giving away another Ordinal Hive pass. The Ordinal Hive pass dropped last Friday. They're now available on Magic Eden. So if you don't win one today, you can pick one up over there. So we're going to give away one right now. This is our third one out of the 5 we're giving away. So let's see who wins. Congratulations, Better Days BBD. Congratulations, you have won an Ordinal Hive pass. So, but speaking of Ordinal Hive pass, I think we have someone special to bring up next, right?
Yes, we do. We got Mr. Fonzie. Let's bring him up. Welcome to the show.
GM, how's it going, guys? How are you doing? On a discussion of Bitmap, I love Bitmap. I'm a huge Bitmap supporter. So, yeah, it's even also in the Ordinal Revolution logo. So we got to pay tribute to the OG asset class on Bitcoin.
Heck yeah, man! You see it everywhere. T-shirt on Shizzy's screen, but guys, we got 637 people in here. What's up? Is this because of Merlin Mondays? Was that a good idea?
Like it. It was fantastic. It was a beautiful idea.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think we're outpacing Ordinal show. But anyways, yeah. So Fonzie, everybody knows you in the space. You're an OG, just like everybody else that was on stage. We love OGs because you guys, experience the whole build out of the Ordinal space. Yeah. And so if you could explain what Ordinal Hive is from a basic level and how it can benefit the Ordinals and Bitcoin and Merlin ecosystem community.
Yeah. Of course, 100%. So, my favorite way to explain it is always explain the issues. Because I think people relate to those issues and they're like, it makes sense now, right? And I think a lot of us experienced that early on, right? Being early to the ecosystem itself. I myself was early. All of us here were early to that. And so, it came a point in time where I had all these inscriptions and I wanted to flip them, make money. I trade. So why not just go ahead and flip them? And that's when I first experienced issues, right? Off the bat, the long block times, UTXOs, the high fees. later down the road, like later last year, we experienced sniping as a huge issue, and that's the reason why we started Ordinal Hive, right? To solve all this stuff there. So we're going from 10-minute block times to milliseconds, paying from $50 to $100 per trade to a couple cents, better portfolio management, better tooling, just overall better experience trading these Ordinals NFTs. And I think at the end, this is what the ecosystem really needs, right? We have really good platforms out there, but it kind of caters to a specific type of trader, right? And I think right now you can only trade these assets if you have a sniping bot, right? If you have a sniping tool, otherwise you're gonna get basically outbid, outrun, right? So the idea was like, why can't the trading kind of be more conducive to like high frequency traders, high volume traders, like there are in Ethereum, like there are in Solana, right? I think we can build that, right? And people say you can't build that because it's Bitcoin, but like no, like who decided that? And so for us, like our goal is to kind of do that itself, kind of build this platform for those high frequency traders who trade these assets, who have lots of the assets, and who want to like kind of flip 100 frogs into a bid wall, all the cool stuff. So that's kind of the core idea there, the motivation behind that. And yeah, I think it's something that I'm looking forward to myself.
Yeah, man. So like bitmaps, for instance, right? So with
Yes.
one of the pain points was like for Magic Eden in the very beginning, even for me, I can only get 10 at a time, right? And then I think now you can get a little bit more, but it isn't significant. If I want to buy 100, there's no place to do that. But Ordinal Hive is solving that pain point, especially with bitmaps.
100%. And I'm a huge Bitmap supporter. Like I love Bitmap. I remember I ate into that Bitmap stuff, and I still have my first mint. I have never sold it. I think I'm a huge supporter of what's going on. I think I like what Ben Schiller is doing. It adds more utilities to the ecosystem itself. But down the road, I think we'll see is naturally the progression of things. And something that was mentioned too before was like sort of the introduction of AI, right? I think AI Bitcoin make the most sense. And so we'll see that sort of play on our platform too down the road as well, introducing specific metrics, specific things where traders can serve, optimize their experience, conduct specific trades at the request of just, single line of code or single line of like, of a sentence, right? So like for us, that's what we're building towards. And, basically getting these tools necessary for traders to make more Bitcoin at the end. Because I think when it comes down to it, like these images, it's a lot more different than its tokens, right? I think images has its rarity, have specific traits. You might have like a specific like affection towards it, right? So all that keeping in mind, like we want to build that sort of tooling out for the specific asset class.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I think attracts people is to Ordinal Hive is, they're like, okay, well, this is the Bitcoin version of Blur, but Blur never really got to experience that like peak bull run. Only really kind of the downtrend of that into like a bear market. And so the people that gamified it with the points and stuff, they definitely benefited very well. But imagine being able to get in early to like a bull market with Blur. I feel like it'd be crazy, like lucrative or a great opportunity, I should say. So is that part of the appeal too, kind of like this gamified like points as well type of thing that Ordinal Hive will have, or will you guys not have that?
Yeah, 100%. So I think one of the biggest things we gotta look at is sort of like when do you build? I think I speak about this all the time. Like timing matters, right? Like they built during a time where it was mostly a bear market, right? And people blame it for like NFT shopping, but like truly speaking, the entire ecosystem as a whole like was pretty much on a bear like downturn, right? I think for us, we're experiencing sort of the beginning of the bull market, right? And if you look at the 4-year cycle, all these trends, and even with the election cycle coming up, right? Like whoever wins, like one thing is certain, like interest rates might fall, right? As a result, when people might borrow more money, there will be more money in the ecosystem, and the first thing that inflates are asset classes, right? Or assets per se. So like we understand that build, and when we introduce that narrative there, when we introduce sort of the gamification as part of it, and when we incentivize for the right things, you have a really good recipe for success, right? And not saying like there's always things you gotta account for, and I think that's something that we kind of like make sure to do every single time we build this and we plan this out. But like if we do this correctly, if we do this the right way, if we incentivize for the right things, right, leading up to the bull run, I think this can be really, really good. So for us, our mindset, our focus has been from the very beginning, keep our heads down, develop this. Stay grounded and just focus on like the build, right? I think it's very important to get the infra played all the way, on sort of like the gamification part as well. Like we understand sort of like the culture, we understand sort of our traders, even people who've been using our tester for the last 3 months, just gaining so much insight and just knowing what to incentivize for, right? Knowing how they react, knowing like what works, what doesn't work, with in mind that for 2025 we might experience a really good really good position for Bitcoin as a whole, right? And not just like the assets within Bitcoin, but just Bitcoin being adopted from ETFs, being very much trusted around the globe. So that in itself also factors in. And, I think for us, if we can sort of position ourselves in the right place, I think I think we'll do a very, very good job for 2025 and even the future.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, man. Very, very excited. And my last question for you is going to be about the pass. Obviously, that was a big event on Friday, minted out. What benefits do these pass holders get from holding a pass, and what can they look forward to for the future of it?
Yeah, that was a crazy day. It was Friday. I was up from 1 a.m. up to 10 p.m. even later, just fielding calls, questions. It was a very long day. It was very much fun, but we had to delay the mint for a second just because there were some issues when it came to uploading the files. But there were some specific issues we experienced at that time, but overall a great success. And as for Hive Pass is going to play a significant role into the ecosystem, right? Into Ordinal Hive ecosystem. Off the bat, you have access to the latest features. Any features we roll out. I think I came here a while back and kind of talked about the sort of the AMM, the collection offers, even stuff that we're going to integrate within the protocol itself. So you'll be first to access that, along with any APIs, all that stuff that we provide as well. Second is you'll have a lifetime platform fee waiver, so you won't pay platform fees on the platform ever, which is a really good perk, especially if you're a trader. You want to minimize your costs. I think from my standpoint, that's something I love to have, just because the cost.
Wait, no fees ever.
No fees ever. Yeah, no fees ever.
Yeah. If you're gonna be a high volume trader for points, get yourself a pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
Yeah, I think if you're someone who trades, frequently trades high amounts, this benefits you 100%. That's the target. And the third thing, of course, is you'll basically get a points boost, which will go more in detail later on when we launch our soft launch. Which actually we're working on the bridging stuff, but it should work if you have assets on mainnet, you can go ahead and use the platform. We haven't really built yet the platform yet, but we'll make that live soon for everyone else. But yeah, you'll basically get a points boost, and I think I mentioned on Friday as well. The more high passes you hold, the greater points boost, right, to a certain extent, which will also have a digestible blog where you can sort of read more into that in detail. But yeah, it's going to play a very central component to the ecosystem, and something you definitely don't want to miss out. It was a success. I appreciate Shizzy and Yagobi too, where day of the mint and stuff. So kind of discussing that. But yeah, no, I think super excited about that. And if there's any questions, if you guys are a holder of a Hive Pass, please just go to Discord and make sure you get verified so you can get your role. And yeah, I think once we're on mainnet, that's when the fun starts, and that's when you start seeing sort of it play out into the ecosystem itself.
100%. I had another question, but this question was just better. Did Fonzie's parents genetically engineer him to be a gigabrain?
Dude, I was instant best question nominee, right?
Yeah, I mean this is definitely the top question of the day so far.
He also has.
We'll see.
Yeah, he also has a 333, the master, or is ancient number 333. So he must be into that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, I think no. It's funny enough. My parents, my parents are very traditional in the sense they wanted me to go to college and get a degree, all that stuff, which I did, no problem. But I dropped out of grad school to get into crypto full time, and they think I'm in grad school. I told them already that I wasn't. So
I love that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I think everyone, people ask what's the best way to do things, and I think in life, right, the best way to do things, and the thing I always say is just do it, right? Just go on and do it. Don't hesitate, just go for it. I think when you hesitate and think about it, it'll get tougher. Just if you can't swim, just drop into the swimming pool and start swimming around. Don't do that. Swim at the edge, but just do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's some good life
Ordinals
advice
is kind of
Fonzie.
Yeah, Ordinals is kind of grad school, right? You have to graduate from Bitcoin
exactly.
in order to know Ordinals. It kind of is grad school
exactly.
In a way, so.
And then L2 is the PhD. So L2 is you're at the forefront of this novel technology. So
awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you explaining to the audience and everything. But I'm going to bring you back down. Hang tight for a second. We're going to do one more giveaway and then bring all of you back and hit on some of these questions. So we'll see you in a second.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
All right. Yep. All right. But before we do the question, go ahead.
Yeah, I would love to know Jeff's opinion on Ordinal Hive.
Yeah, I think Ordinal Hive is a real professional team, to be honest, and they're aiming to do this kind of NFT snipe, which I think I haven't seen any other team doing that, on layer one. And because of the bridge is open right now, and I know for sure if the Ordinal Hive pass want to bridge, it takes like 5 minutes to do so from us, so we can definitely do that. And if there are some price difference, like right now when I was checking, the price on Merlin Chain and also price on Magic Eden, some collections they have a huge price difference. And like for example, if you have this like Bitmap token on layer 2, which has like a higher price, and you can dump that like immediately, and you can buy some more on layer 1. So this kind of arbitrage thing, I think you will definitely have in the future, especially when the market is back. I know right now, all these blue chips NFTs are kind of down by a lot, like 60%, 70%. But it will come back, and when it comes back, you just will regret you haven't used this kind of tools to make some profits, because nobody knows when to sell or when to buy. But if you see arbitrage, that's like the easiest decision you can make.
100%. And when they do come back, they come back stronger than ever. We've seen that multiple times already. I feel like Ordinals is broken down into cycles. Like we had one cycle in November, December, and then but the cycle in January and February was so much bigger. And I just think that the next one that we're about to have is going to rip. We're going to see collections over 1 Bitcoin for sure. We almost had a couple that hit close to that, but I think this next one, you're going to see prices that you only dreamed about. And I think you're 100% right. And having these tools and the sniping is going to be such a leg up on any other trader who's not using them.
100%. All right, let's get this Hive pass into my hands, because I feel like I'm gonna win. I'm just kidding.
All right, I'm gonna give it. Let's just give away. We'll give away all 3 here. We'll knock them out, so that way we can kind of cruise in the Q&A and bring everyone up, and we'll kind of roll with that. So
hold on real quick. I want to make sure that because you sent me 3 winners already. So is it 2 more?
Two more. Yeah. Okay. You're right.
I just want to make sure.
Good catch. All right, here I'm going to do back to back here. So spin this thing all the way up.
Good luck, everybody.
Let's go. Trending trends. Congratulations. You have won a Hive pass. Let me just copy your name here to make sure I get you. So
that one hurt, because I saw like Green Man was probably sitting there.
I know.
Sorry about that.
Congratulations, trending trends, man. And then we'll do the final one here. I'm going to remove you, and then we'll spin this thing up here. Let's go. Oh, I was going to crypto 10,000.
Who's that? Is that Crypto Noob?
Yeah, I think it's Crypto Noob. I think that's his Twitter handle, if I'm correct. So congratulations, guys! You're all winners on the show, man. Because you guys are winning with information. You're winning with, and you're also winning with some thing. No, that's BVM.eth. Okay, congratulations.
All right, congrats to all the winners there. I think we might have one more. I think there was a mine. I think Sam from the VDEX team said that.
Let's make sure.
Yeah, let me bring him up just to make sure. Sam, are you good to give away one of the mines? If not, no worries.
Yeah, we're good. We could do that.
Okay. So this is for a VDEX mine. We'll do one last giveaway here. Appreciate that, Sam. This is from the VDEX team.
No.
Oh, dude, it's so funny because he was just like, he just posted on that last one. He was like, oh no, almost. Well, you got it on this one.
Congratulations. It was between him and Nocturnal here, which is pretty funny. I wasn't sure who was going to win it, and then almost I Walk Alone almost won too. So congratulations to all the winners today, man. We're going to be giving away more passes next Monday for another Merlin Monday. So definitely meet back with us next Monday. We'll probably give it away a good amount again. If they stay this cheap, I might pick some up to give you guys away some as well. So we're going to have a huge giveaway next week as well.
All right, so I'm going to bring back all the guests on stage, and we're going to go through Q&A, and we'll finish up the show that way. So thanks, 851 of you guys for hanging out with us this entire time, but it's been a blast.
Nice.
All right. Let's see.
Cool. Hey, guys. And hey, add an egg to next week's giveaways for sure. Add some eggs.
Okay.
You want to do it now? 420s right now?
Yeah, sure. Let's do one right now.
All right.
Uh-oh. Goodness gracious, this is the
Donald
best
Trump
Merlin
too.
Mondays ever.
I love it. Best ever.
Oh man, that's
Roll
as close as
tag.
you can get.
It was that dude. One more second of a spin, and that was to someone else. Congratulations, Soul Tab. All right.
Awesome.
Outstanding. One new holder.
Nice.
All right, so let's jump directly into the questions here. So I'm gonna try to hit one on each, but we'll start off with Jeff. Let's see. Okay, this is a good one. So it says a question for Jeff. Does Merlin Chain have decentralized validators or not? If yes, what's the native token for that?
Yeah. So first, we will be having decentralized validators for sure, because that part has been already like integrated into the the Merlin Chain sequencer nodes and Polygon CDK stuff. But it will be launched with the POS proof of stake system with Merlin. We are aiming to do the phase 1 in Q3. By doing this, it has like lots of testing, lots of risks. So we're trying to take it slow, just like we did with with the bridge, with all kinds of stuff. But until today, there's like zero security issues. So when we do have the decentralized validators, you can stake Bitcoin, because like right now the gas fee is Bitcoin, the native token for Merlin Chain is Bitcoin. So you can you can stake your Bitcoin to become the validators. And in order to do that, you will have Bitcoin on Merlin Chain, but also you will be rewarded with the sharing the network revenue. So when we have like 1 Bitcoin gas fee, 10 Bitcoin, 100 Bitcoin, we have hundreds of Bitcoin gas fee. So this revenue will be shared with all these validators. And I think the mechanism is about, we will buy back the Merl tokens to give you the Merl, but I mean you can sell that if you want. So we will be having the revenue of Bitcoin by buying back Merl tokens and distribute Merl tokens to all these validators. And if you don't have the equipment, the technology to become validator, you can definitely be part of others validators. So you can stake your Bitcoin with them like delegates, and they will distribute you the tokens like spontaneously.
Awesome, that's exciting. I'm gonna look into that myself. Actually, probably not a big enough well for that, but we'll see. All right. All right. This next question. Go ahead.
Yeah, one thing is, so right now, if you still have MBTC, MBTC is not the Merlin Bitcoin. The Merlin Bitcoin is gas fee, right?
Yeah.
The MBTC is, when you stake into Merlin sale, you get MBTC, right? So if some of you guys still have MBTC right now, I think we have 15K MBTC. So if you still have MBTC, basically you have already participated in this kind of phase. So, so we have MBTC, in September, you will find out 1 MBTC equals, 1 Bitcoin plus, hundreds of Merl. So you are already making money right now.
Let's go.
Yeah, sounds amazing.
Tasty.
Yeah. All right. Indian Trap. This is for you, Sam. Can we stake our Verium mines now? If so, how do we do that? Thanks.
So yes, you can't stake them right now. Staking will open pretty soon. I would suggest that you guys bridge them over when the fees are low. Staking will be available at the time of at the launch of the platform, but right now, no. Although the contract is completed, it's not been deployed, but it will be deployed pretty soon.
So everything you need for that mechanism is completed, basically, except for launch of the CA, the contract.
Correct. Yeah.
Perfect.
So get ready, guys. Start bridging them over now. Definitely use it as advice and wait for fees to get cheap. Sunday morning has been, to me, the best time to bridge anything over there. So definitely use that. Don't mess me up, though, because that's my bridging time. But yeah.
All right. This question is for Ben Schiller from Claudio. He says, question for Bitmap. If I parceled and sold the Bitmap on Merlin Chain after staking, will I get the parcels? Wait.
Ask me that question one more time, just so I make sure I'm actually answering the question that you're asking.
Okay, so it says, if I parceled and sold the bitmap on Merlin Chain after staking, will I get the parcels? Will they receive the parcels?
No, once your parcel is created, it is its own separate entity. So that's one of the great things about parcels, which is you can distribute them. Whoever receives them, it's their property now. So that's one thing that you can get, and you'll be able to. And this is why the open indexer is so important. You'll be able to track that. Anyone will be able to track that. Applications developers, wallets, exchanges will be able to track that with an updated open protocol indexer. And of course, ultimately, whatever indexers should be able to support this as well. So that's the development path. And if I can, if you want to actually test parceling out, I've been talking about our bitmap parceling tool. We are testing it now. So this happens on layer 1. You split your bitmap, create your parcels. So if you go to bitmap420.com, you can sign up for our testnet. We are progressing with that, getting as many people to try to break it, as many people as possible. And of course, we incentivize folks, whoever hold our BRC 420, our egg that we just gave away, we give priorities to them. You also get, as Fonzie would appreciate, the egg becomes a points multiplier. And just as you were alluding to, you get a chance to give us feedback on the platform to make it better. So looking forward to it, and bitmap420.com.
Nice. All right, good answer there, and great question.
Come and break it.
Yeah, I mean, we got to keep testing these platforms, guys, because like whenever things are crazy is whenever we want them to work the most smooth, experience, right? So keep trying to break everything. That always helps. All right, so this is from Crypto University to Jeff. What is your plan to attract the masses other than Bitcoin holders already? So this is a good question. So basically, like, okay, let's say that you achieved getting Bitcoiners to use Merlin Chain. How would you attract outside other chains like EVM and stuff?
That's the one question I want to answer seriously. Like, that's a great question. Like right now, the reason we see ruins and BRC20 ups and downs, because the liquidity, the speed of liquidity coming in is it is just not fast enough. That's why we have too many tokens. Some tokens have a high price, and then when the liquidity goes, the price just drops. So that's why we need all users, all liquidity from other communities. And the reason right now for the on-chain Merlin Summer in June, in July, and right now we're trying to build more events in the future, is for us to build the liquidity base first. So basically, when we have like $20 million LP for all the ruins and BRC20 tokens, then we can go to other communities to say, okay, if you want to buy ruins, you can buy just from BNB Chain or from Solana, because like every time when you talk to these guys, they heard of ruins, but they don't know how to buy ruins, and definitely they're not going to go through the Xverse, Unisat wallet experience, transfer Bitcoin from from whatever exchange they're using. Probably they don't have any Bitcoin, and buy this stuff, understanding UTXO, understanding inscription. This is not going to happen. So what we want to do here is, okay, one day they see, oh, dog is going to the moon, pizza is going to the moon, and then we can come to them and say, okay, you can use your DEX on your chain, such as BNB Chain and Solana. You can spend BNB, Ethereum, USDC, Solana to buy this, dog, ruins, a pizza, all these assets from your chain, and that's called cross-chain DEX. We have a partner building this. They are not launched yet because we don't have much liquidity here. So that's why right now we're trying to build liquidity. We have another team building TGBot who has already achieved 120K users from Town Network, from all kinds of chains. They have money, they have wallets, and if one day we talk to them, okay, see, dog has already gone up like 30%. If you guys want to buy that, just type dog in your TG chat, Telegram chat, and you can buy them from your chain. So this is like a step-by-step thing. First we have to have the bridge, we have to have the liquidity, the assets, and then we have to have the cross-chain DEX, and then we have some marketing tools like TG bots, like TG like games, and then when the market is back, it's time for these guys from other chains to buy stuff from us.
100%.
I love it.
I think that, yeah, that's perfect. And like things like this, you know, like we have almost 1,000 people in here, guys, and we're talking about a Bitcoin sidechain that like we know a lot about, but other people don't. And you know, that was one of the ideas that's behind this idea that Shizzy and I had about Merlin Mondays is let's educate, and that's what we're doing right now. So
Yeah. But that's like perfect because let's just say I'm on a chain like I don't know Polygon, right? And I don't know there's a Bitcoin layer 2, but I know there's this dog token that I want. I'm gonna buy it first because that's what I do. I buy first and research later. I want to make sure that I don't FOMO, so I'd buy it first, and then as I'm doing my research, I discover things like Merlin, and I realize, hey, there's a bridge where I can put this natively back on the Bitcoin L2 and potentially an easy way to get on Bitcoin because Bitcoin is unless we have something down the line like a you know, like Opcat or something, the bridge is not going to work properly. But to get on Merlin, which already has that you know, the integration and everything already, it would just be easier to get it on layer 2. So Merlin layer 2, I mean layer 1, it's like a perfect fit of, you know, of what I do personally. So I love that. Love that, Jeff.
Yeah, one more thing is, if you're a Polygon guy or Solana guy, you don't even have to know about Merlin. You know, you find the DEX on your chain, you see dog is pumping, you buy dog and you get dog. You don't have to understand what Merlin is. You have to understand what EM is. Just like buy that token.
Yeah, good point there. All right, this one's for Fonzie from Jacob. Will Ordinal Hive have a token, and what kind of standard will you use? That's pretty straightforward, isn't it? You don't have to answer. Oh, you're on mute.
Oh, I was gonna say Jacob Kim, you're a giga brain. No, I was gonna say, so like check this out. I think for us, we're gonna roll out a specific system, right? I think it's very important to make sure we get this just right. So we'll be incentivizing for specific things. We'll be incentivizing for sort of bridging over, listing them on our platform, all the cool stuff. And you'll get points, right? Now these points will be redeemable for something in the future, which we'll announce at a different date. But yeah, you might be onto something, Ken. We'll see, and then we'll token standard. I guess we'll announce all this. It'll be clear, I promise, very, very soon. But for now, just those points will be redeemable for something, and we'll make sure to like make very clear what gives you points. We won't be very specific like how many points you get. That's not game the system, but like we'll be kind of like, you know, this X activity will give you X amount of points, right? And doing that stuff. And I think, you know, part of the problem is also addressing like the listings, right? We want to make sure listings on like there's opportunity for arbitrage trading for L2, L1, especially when you're dealing with like faster speeds. So we want to make sure we address that, and you know we'll also be getting points for that too. So yeah, I think all of it will be made clear very soon, and then I think you'll have a better understanding of how to like point farm, how to like do all the cool stuff.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for that answer. Good question there, Jacob. Also, you know, there's a bunch of questions that came in about bitmaps. This is how strong that bitmap community is. I love seeing that. Okay, so next one we'll go to is Site Editor. It says this question is for Bitmap 420. How about bitmaps with just one transaction? How could you? What would you do for that? Like you can't parcel that, right? So, Ben Schiller, are you there? Oh, right when I said a bunch of questions for bitmaps came in, he's like, I gotta go. Too many.
Yo, he dipped. He's like, I'm out.
All right, we'll save those questions for the next time. Patapoo right here has a question. I don't know if this is serious or not, but this is for Sam with VDEX. It says, I would like to create a liquidity pool for all my 300 out of 1,000 Rare Pepe smug chips on Counterparty. Can this be done on Verium? I don't think.
Well, first off, you would have to, Jeff would have to, and the team would have to create the contract on the other side. Yes, I mean that's something that could happen. Jeff, have you ever thought about that, doing the Rare Pepes on Merlin?
Counterparty.
Well, yeah, Counterparty.
Yeah, I'm not an NFT guy, so I really don't know what Rare Pepe is. But
okay, yeah. Well, they're basically like for the collectors, they're like the highest like sought after digital collectibles on Bitcoin because they're like from 2015, 2016. But like the only way for that to happen, you're right, Shizzy, you know, Merlin Chain would have to accept that standard over. But even before then, like there would need to be more momentum, I think, for the entire Counterparty ecosystem, which, hey, I've been seeing them in my Twitter timeline and news feeds that they're trying to make like a resurgence here. So we'll see. We shall see. Yeah. But I guess the man that was asked the question never even said anything yet. So Sam, would you consider accepting something crazy?
I think the question's already been answered, right? Like I think we can only support assets that can be bridged over through Merlin, like Unicross. So it's gonna. I mean, if the mechanics are there, we would, and the demand is there, we could definitely develop something like that. But I think certain things need to be in place for us to be able to do that are kind of out of our control.
Yep. All right. And I think that's gonna wrap it up, guys, in terms of the questions. You guys put a lot of great questions in there. Well, I see this comment right here from Kingslayer. Love this channel. These guys simplify. Oh, sorry, I had to read that. No, appreciate the comment there, Kingslayer. But really, we appreciate all 955 of you guys for watching and learning and getting educated. So come back every Monday, for the live stream, and then the Merlin Mondays. Next week, we're going to have some new guests on as well. We focus on builders that also focus a lot on the Bitcoin ecosystem, native Bitcoin as well. So that's why we highlighted these three. And, someone like Unicross, we're going to try to get them on next week because they are a big facilitator in all this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Shizzy, do you want to?
Yeah, I just want to say, like, there's amazing builders. We're right now we're just kind of showcasing the builders from the West. But we would definitely still want to showcase the builders from the East. I would love to get Surf on. I'd love to get Mr. J back on from Unicross. And there's so many amazing builders in the East as well. I don't want to make this an East versus West thing, but these guys don't really get a lot of time, and definitely want to give them the first episode. We just appreciate Fonzie, appreciate Ben Schiller and you as well, Sam. And you guys are really doing something that not many people are doing over here in the West, and you guys are building something special on a special chain. Like we love Merlin. It's the only one we can use, and it's kind of giving me that like already I feel like nostalgia towards Merlin already, and I feel like that's gonna last kind of going forward. It's being the first place where I can take my L1 assets and trade them and do a lot of crazy other things that Sam's probably getting ready for us to try out. So I'm excited for that. But I'd love to give you guys a stage to talk to the 960 people that are in here right now, kind of giving your final words. I'll start with you, Fonzie.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you guys for bringing us up here. It's been a fantastic show. And I actually agree, the last comment is you guys do simplify a lot of stuff in the ecosystem and bring light to a lot of stuff, right? So that's very, very important. But no, I appreciate bringing them on board. Just we're going to go live, guys, very soon, soft mainnet launch. And then again, Kim asked a question, what's going to give you points, is start bridging these assets, which will have a list of specific assets you can bridge over, and then list them on our platform to max points, stuff like that. And I'll be going on for a while. And then afterwards, we'll have a more concise, precise sort of list and sort of actions that would grant you more points based on listing for specific trades, all that cool stuff. So yeah, make sure to keep an eye out for that and stuff. And then we'll be tweeting that out. Again, if you're a Hive Pass holder, congrats if you won one today. Make sure to verify your Hive Pass on our Discord so you guys can get that role there and then maximize his utility. But yeah, I appreciate you guys, Shizzy, Yagobi, Jeff, appreciate you as well, and Sam, of course, you're a legend. So yeah, thanks guys for bringing him on board.
All right,
Awesome.
Sam, just you're up, man. Final words to the community.
Yeah, hey guys. Yeah, we were pretty excited about. Well, first, thanks for having us here. We've been pretty excited about Merlin and building our DEX, and it's finally we're very close to launching within the next couple of weeks. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you for having us. We're going to be launching our token at a very decent market cap. So, if you, and then we'll have staking for BRC 420 Verium mines. So definitely look out for that. And thank you for the opportunity for me to be here and, promote VDEX. And you guys are doing a great job. And I'm super excited about what's to come for all the projects that are here and Merlin as well. So thank you.
100%.
Awesome. Appreciate that.
And the man of the hour, Jeff, would love to. This was a complete success. Merlin Mondays was our biggest turnout, and maybe ever. We appreciate you for letting us do Merlin Monday. We couldn't do Merlin Monday without you, so we appreciate you, my friend. But last words to the community.
Yeah, of course. I didn't know, this time we have so many people hearing us, and for next week, I would definitely bring some, incentives. We can do wheel for. I would say 69,000 Bitmap token, which you can dump in 1 second. but yeah, I'm really happy to be here. And I really believe build in silence, build when the market is down kind of guys. So I'm like, we are actively building. Last year when we were building Bitmap game, BRC420, we were building in silence as well. But I mean, the opportunity to be here like every Monday, I think it's a great great opportunity for us too. To show what we've been building recently. Hopefully every week we can bring something new, bring something exciting, just like last year, every week we can bring something new. And I mean, I'm happy all these builders are coming to Merlin to build. These guys are the same people like us, building silence, build when market is down. It's easier for you to issue like 10 meme tokens on chain every day, but it's going to be hard for you to build one actual useful product, for once in your lifetime. So yeah, I'm just happy to be here and with you guys, especially. Thank you.
Yep.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys. See you guys really soon. Appreciate all three of you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dude, that was amazing. That was so much fun. Merlin Monday was a complete success, dude. I loved it. We're 2 hours and 43 minutes here. For everyone, I know Yasher's been here the whole time, but for everyone who's been here the whole time, man, we appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you guys so much for letting us do this. You guys give us the platform to be able to talk to these amazing builders. I can't believe I get to just sit here and just listen to people like Fonzie, people like Jeff, people like Ben Stiller, and people like Sam, and you too, Yagobi. I mean, the insights of today's episode were so amazing, and I feel blown away by what's being built on Merlin.
Yeah, exactly, man. I love it. I love it. You sometimes like I won't get burnt out about like the show, but just kind of life, and it seems like I'm talking about the show. You'd be like, I love this. What are you talking about? I'm like, I love it too, man. But it's true though. Like I think if both of us didn't, we wouldn't be able to grow to where we are today. And it's really like majority of you guys that got us here. That's why we're here. We show up every day. So we appreciate all of y'all. And if you wouldn't mind, just make sure you give our partners a look here. Ordinal Hive, you just saw them. The blur of Bitcoin on Merlin, Fluid tokens, big upcoming announcement. They teased it today.
Huge.
Pay attention. I promise you guys, pay attention to that. It's going to be game changing for native Bitcoin's layer. And then VDEX, you just talked to Sam, got big things coming with the single staking, with the liquidity pools. And then, of course, our partners from the TAP ecosystem, Traverse Labs, #1 security solution for Bitcoin in terms of keeping your layer one asset secure. So appreciate you guys making this show amazing today. Our first Merlin Mondays was awesome.
100%, dude. 988 people in here right now. Appreciate you guys. And please, if you guys can do us a favor, just go over to ordinalrevolution.com. We have some of the best articles. If you know someone new trying to get caught up in the space, send them on our website. You can really get caught up very quickly. We have articles on so much here, especially newest ones from Ordinal Hive, and we'll probably get some new ones soon as well. And if you go to Bitcoin Nashville, we have a 21% off coupon. Don't pay full price. Use our coupon. Just go to ordinalrevolution.com. You can't miss it. Huge big up here. And if you're on mobile, you can just hit the Bitcoin conference as well. That'll take you to the same place. And also the store. If you're going to Bitcoin Nashville, make sure you're rocking some Ordinals gear. Let's show the maxis that Ordinals are here to stay. And if the more they see it, maybe the more they'll end up buying one that looks cool. So let's bring the maxis in. Let's bring them over to Ordinals and have the best gear. If it's not from us, make sure it's someone else. But rock some Ordinals gear down in Nashville, guys. And we're live Monday to Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific. Check us out all week, guys. We'll be here on 4th of July as well. We made the decision today. We'll be knocking it out for the show. We're going to be live. So, there's no days off for us at Ordinal Revolution because this isn't work for us, right? This is fun. It's exciting. And we love spending time with you guys. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. You have anything else before we go?
No, we're good, man. Peace.
We OG, or no OG. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload, yeah. Experts on reload, yeah. You're not bullish enough, yeah. Oh no, you're not bullish enough. You ain't got the oh no. I get stoned by the bolo. Bitcoin set to overload. Experts on reload. Mempool getting hot. Everybody wanna rock. Ayy. Rooms is coming. Everybody on a knot. Ayy. It's a nuisance. Ordinal Revolution. Ayy. Ordinal Revolution. Yo, it's my guy for real, bro. Got friends right now. Yo, PRC 420, bro. Yo, that shit on fire, bro. Imagine if he in here. Yeah, like it in the seal. Murder. I got balls of steel. Nuki on the field. Yeah, this shit for real. With no calls, I get so far. Got 100 phone calls that I go hard, and they gon' love me. Smoke weed, huddle back. I get shiesty. Where my Bitcoin looking lovely. All this Satoshi's nothing above me.